And we are back. Welcome back to Pixels and Pints. We're back for you for another fortnightly dose of absolute shenanigans and all sorts of tomfoolery. Funnily enough, my name's Tom. I'm one of your hosts tonight. We also have Pete.
Hi.
And we have Dan.
Hello.
And tonight we've all contributed to the run sheet, and we're going to be talking about a whole bunch of
Did I contribute? Did I?
Mentally,
Jesus.
spiritually, ecumenically.
Spiritually. Yeah.
Honestly,
yeah,
with how
so.
bright your face looks on camera right now,
He definitely
it
went
feels like
spiritual.
you should be visible from space.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said the other week, I still can't darken it. But anyway, continue.
There we go. So anyway, after that little whatever that just was.
Shenanigans.
Interlude. Little banter for you, little sample of the banter. So yes, we're going to be talking about all things pop culture, video games, movies, TV, the whole kit and caboodle. And also drink a whole bunch of quality beers from... Well, I've got a nice mix of Australia and New Zealand tonight. I don't know about you guys.
Well, I did, but I just sync-boarded my New Zealand one.
Yes. No good.
Not a good start.
They shall not be mentioned.
Well,
I'm having a
my
dark
first
beer
one.
night. Yeah, I'm going to do the same. I'm
I have a beer blender. We love a beer blender. So we've done these ones before. This is from Urbanaut. This is their newest beer blender. So
I looked at that when you had it in the photo and didn't click that that's what it was.
Yep. So it's the fun one where you get to peel it and then it's two little cans, and I just fucked the peeling because I wasn't paying attention. But beer A is a strawberry hazy IPA, and then beer B is a cucumber and mint sour.
That's
going to be interesting.
I feel like I should go get a shot of gin and dump it in when I mix them.
My two of my three most hated foods: cucumber and mint, and the third is coriander.
I love a bit of cucumber.
And you're not a fan of raisins either, are you?
No, I love raisins.
Oh.
Raisins.
Was that Chris?
That was Chris.
It was Chris. He couldn't stand raisins in his dark.
No, and he won't eat fruitcake. Anyway, riveting content.
Absolutely.
What are you drinking, Dan, while Tom's figuring out his beer blender?
Waiting for Tom. Are you trying them separately and then going to blend them? Or
Yes,
are you just
I have.
balls out and then...
No. I'm going to try the three variations. Beer A, beer B, and then combined into AB squared. That's what it was, wasn't it? AB squared? I don't know. I don't remember year 10
Something
maths.
like that.
Yep. Well, while you do that, I've got BrewDog, Passionfruit, Pineapple, Imperial Ice Cream, Sour Ale.
Ooh, is that the Conga line?
It's another it's another matte label. I thought it was going to show up on the screen, but it's not going to.
Oh Christ, that's strawberries! Wow,
a lot of strawberries now.
My entire room smells like strawberries now. That's great.
This BrewDog's really nice. It's not as sweet as what I expected it to be, with saying ice cream sour on it, but the sourness cuts through nicely. There's a bit of finishing sweetness there, good amount of passion fruit, and quite a lot of bitterness from the passion fruit as well. Big can, 7.5%.
I'd like to say that I know how to pour a beer, but that just exploded. Literally opened the can and it was already frothing out. Wow. But it smells like strawberries.
While you wait for that to settle,
a little bit of secondary fermentation in the can.
I am...
Gotta love adding fruit.
Is this even... I'm
Yeah.
not convinced. This is Aussie. I've never heard of these guys. This is the Slipstream Brewing Co.'s Mocha Stout.
Oh yeah, I've had some Slipstream stuff. They're quite good. Makes some good
After
beers.
being inspired by it was a dark sour with coffee in it. I thought I'm having a dark night, so it's going to be 4 stouts of various kinds.
All right, Batman.
I was going to go the other
not
way.
a stout. Were you going to go all pale?
No, you don't have to. No, you're saying you're having a dark night, and I'm going. You don't have to be sad, Peter.
No.
Oh, I thought you were going to go. He's just wearing hockey pads. That's
that's not bad. I had a little bit of a sip off the top of the can and didn't really like what I tasted, but a proper mouthful is quite a different experience.
So, sorry, what is it? A Mocha Stout?
Yeah, lots of chocolatey notes, which is what you'd expect out of a Mocha, right?
Do they say what coffee they use?
Allow me to check. Smooth coffee, sweet stout, and it is sweet. There's lots of residual sugar. Warm cocoa. 3 of the best winter warmers life has to offer together with your together for your enjoyment. We won't even judge you if you drink it from a mug.
Oh, that's nice of them.
No mention of which coffee they use. Just 6.5% Mocha Stout.
Cool.
Does what it says on the can. It's coffee. There's not too much coffee though. I'm surprised, given it's a stout base.
Yeah.
Mind you,
with coffee added to it.
Mind you, because my Uber Eats delivery driver was late, I did just wolf down a spicy burger, so it's probably wiped out my palate. How you going, Tom?
Well,
with your 11 beers.
We're all hinging on you here before we move into anything else.
Look at it. It hasn't gone down. It's just at least it's got head retention. You got to give it that. I'll start with the. I just had a little sip. It's not the softest, haziest beer you'd ever imagine. But that was kind of the case with a few of the other Urbanaut beer blender ones, where the hazy wasn't, depending what you're judging it on from other hazy beers you might have had. But I'm just going to try the Cucumber+Mint sour.
I think that's a good idea, cucumber and mint. It does sound like it's going to work.
That's refreshing.
I would never ever buy it just because it puts me off, but I think it sounds like a very, very good idea.
It's got it's quite
Sounds
limey,
good.
quite citrusy as well. But it's got a nice pleasant tang. And once this one calms down, it's almost there. We're almost there. I'll blend them together and let you know how the blend goes. But so far, so good.
What was the strawberry? Did you try the strawberry one, or are you just waiting for it to settle first?
I'm just waiting for it to settle. It'll get there.
Fair enough.
Get there by the end of the episode if we're lucky.
Yep. Well, what's happening this week?
Jump straight into
Pretty
it.
slow. Yeah, pretty slow news-wise.
Pretty slow news-wise. Didn't we just get... Tom absolutely spammed us last Friday morning with trailers from the PlayStation.
Yeah, that comes up later.
That's just trailer trash.
So yeah, for not reading the run sheet correctly.
Well, biggest thing for me last night, I think, Peter, I'm not sure if you had a chance to play around. Well, you would have. You were playing games all day. The latest PS5 update went live, so now if you want to expand your hard drive and get one of those fancy SSD drives, the little port that they always had in the PS5, you can now use. It's now upgradable.
So is it external or is it internal?
It's internal.
Oh, so you got to pull it apart.
You just takes about basically pull off the plate.
20 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay.
I watched this guy do it, and I feel comfortable doing it if I want to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, you just slide off the cover, undo one screw on a heat shield, which is right on the edge of the PlayStation 5. Stick your NVMe M2 card in it, so it's a hard drive on a PCB card. You just slide it in on an angle, push it down, put the screw back on, put the heat shield over it, and then slot it back up. It's 30 seconds.
Bob's your uncle.
They have advised that there's certain drives they recommend based on the heat sink and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you've got to have a specific sustained write and read speed, and it will in fact, and it's I think it's got to be PCIe 4, so one of the latest generation SSD cards, and it has to have a certain sustained read and write speed, but it will detect and warn you. So if it's too slow, it will warn you that it may not work. I was watching Linus Tech Tips, which is a great YouTube series for nerdy people like me. He tested out a bunch of cards that weren't on the list of compatible cards. Some of them worked, some of them didn't. So it just comes down to performance. But he played Miles Morales PlayStation 5 directly from the external hard drive, because it does warn you, even if you meet all their requirements, there may be in-game lag. But he didn't miss a beat. One thing he did say is it's likely that they're warning you ahead of time that these first-generation PS5 games probably aren't pushing the hardware to their limit, whereas some of the later titles that are going to be coming out over the next couple of years will start to really push the hardware boundaries, and that's where you may find those hard drives really struggle.
So what's the advantage of doing it other than extra storage space?
4 terabytes of extra storage space.
Okay, that's it. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Because,
I mean, 1 terabyte seems like heaps, but
Yeah.
it's really fucking not.
Well, the problem is as well now, if you're using, like I'm using external hard drive to store most of my digital games, PS4 ones I can play straight off that, but PS5 games I then have to re-put it onto the actual console storage, which is,
so you got to
there's
play the
not a lot.
Mosaic game. Yeah.
And then
I mean,
some of those Call of Duty games at the moment, they have update files of
100 gig.
Yeah. So it's
So
100
what
gigs
you-
up to your space.
So what's the advantage, Tom, of having them on a external hard drive compared to just downloading them again? Just time.
Just time. If I'm really craving playing God of War, for example, I can just go, sweet, it's there in my library. I just have to press a button and it boots up.
Yeah.
Rather than have to go wait and hope that my internet's up to speed and it's going to download in a reasonable time, and then I won't get bored and go, fuck it, I'll just play something else. Which does happen.
Fair enough.
Mhm.
There were a few
I
other
did
things
see-
that came with it.
Yep,
well,
sorry.
that update.
Oh, your vertical fucking...
Yeah, I get my vertical trophy list. Fuck you. You get your techie stuff. I get my little trophy lists. All right, let me have it. And another little one that's probably doesn't affect anyone but me, but when you're going into the power option, you always start on the very left when you press the PS button, and you have to scroll to the right, but you can move all the buttons down there and take off a bunch of ones that you never use. So it's just a bunch of ease of access stuff that they've added.
I didn't know that. I didn't notice that. Although I'm not sure that I've actually installed the patch. I saw that I downloaded it, but I don't think I installed it.
I'm not sure you ever turn your PlayStation off, Peter.
Why do you say that?
I don't know. It just always seems to be on.
It's just, how do you know when it's on?
With the times that I've been over to your house in the last 20 years, the PlayStation's always on.
That's absolutely not true.
I don't
No, he went through a period of like what? Couple of
Yeah,
months where
like
he
almost-
barely played
like
it. He was
almost a
complaining,
year,
I haven't
if not
turned it on
more.
in 16 months.
Doesn't
Yeah.
mean it wasn't on in the background.
Just in rest mode. It's just sitting there.
Yeah,
That's
puts
right.
it in
I put it in
standby
standby.
mode.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
standby. Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, standby is basically on.
It should be smart
Standing
enough
by.
to install updates while it's in standby mode. That's my opinion.
It does. Mine did.
Well, then, I mean, anyway. I don't know when I downloaded it. Might have been last night. It might have been this
It
morning.
came
It's
live
been
last night, so yeah, it's only when we're
Yeah, okay.
recording.
So it probably downloaded
the 16th.
this morning.
Yeah.
Yes. Anyway, that was riveting information.
It was.
Can we
I'm excited.
bump the energy in this?
Speaking of riveting, Battlefield 2042 delayed.
Good.
Was anyone surprised? I know Dan cares a lot.
My little brother was
immensely.
very sad. He was very sad this morning. He was like, "Oh, I can't get a PS5. And Battlefield's been delayed. What's the fucking point?" And I was like, "It's all right, bro. It'll come."
What's the point of anything?
Pretty much.
Yeah, it's only delayed till November. It's an extra month or two. It's not the end of the world.
Just a bit of spit and polish on the top of it.
Yeah. At least it won't be a steaming pile of... Oh, no. It'll still be a steaming pile of turd.
I'm still.
I'm sorry, you're excited for Battlefield 2042 like 3 episodes ago. Don't flip around like
I have the
this,
right
sunshine.
to change my opinion, Tom.
No, you don't.
I'm still
Stick to your
struggling.
guns.
I'm still
Just
struggling
worry
with
about your phony
ordering
beer.
Shut up. I'm still struggling with ordering a PS5 because I now with fucking Ragnarok actually, God of War Ragnarok actually announced. I want to see if
PS5
I can do a
exclusive, yeah.
PS5 fucking exclusive box or shell or fucking flappy bits that they have on the PS5 now. What do they call them? Wings?
I think we should stick with flappy
Face
bits.
plates.
Just quietly.
Flappy
Flappy
bits,
bit.
yeah. There you go, face plates. Flappy bits.
Yep.
I know that.
Flappy bits. No, flappy bits.
Flappy bits. Yeah, like they did for the PS4. I'm shitty I didn't buy that PS4. I almost gave my PS4 at that stage to my nephew, and well, I did in the end, but then didn't get that God of War one. Damn,
It did look very sick.
it did.
I will give it that.
Mm.
Yeah. Yep.
And what is it? It's the 16th of September. So this time next week, which is when this episode will air, Star Wars Visions will be out, which is kind of cool. It's the 22nd, I think they said it was.
Yeah.
I'm very excited for that. That's going to be cool.
There seems to be a lot of hype around that. A lot
Yeah.
of hype. There's a lot of people excited that it's something new and different. Something
Yeah.
new and different, but still
Within
relatable
the-
and old.
Yeah.
Mm.
If they do it the same, like, what am I trying to say? If it's as good as the Animatrix was to the Matrix, then I'll be a happy camper, because the Animatrix mini-series of anime was spectacular. Filled some gaps, told some new stories, gave you a different perspective, and the art design was fantastic. I love that the art design was different each episode too, so my understanding is they're doing the same thing for Visions. It's going to be cool to watch.
Yeah. I've just blended those beers, by the way. This is what the blend looks like.
It looks a lot like the other two beers.
Yeah, the sour definitely overpowers the front of it. And then it's kind of soft and strawberry and hazy at the back. Like, I don't think they're mixed together as well as they were probably initially hoping.
Do you need a swizzle stick?
No, I gave it a bit of, centrifugal force. Love doing that. But no, yeah, it's, I don't know. It's not as, I was thinking like what was the res, the sour Napa. I was thinking that kind of, I should be getting that kind of vibe, but it's way too lemony, limey, sour up the front. The cucumber and mint completely dies off once you mix them together. Like, it's not that refreshing cucumber and mint flavor you get. And then you just get a bit of that soft, like, strawberry kind of like haziness at the back, bit of sweetness. But I think these ones actually were better as separate beers. The blend, unfortunately,
you
isn't
sound
there for me.
disappointed.
Can't win them all.
Can't win them all. No, well, just some of the other blends have been amazing.
Yeah, I agree.
There was one that was like, it was rhubarb, but it was two very similar base beers to start with. And so it worked as a blend. I think when they're kind of polar opposite.
Too far apart.
Yeah, it's just not working very well, but it's still very drinkable. It's just not what I was hoping for.
I've cracked my second one.
Already?
Yeah, that Moondog
You've
one
only got 3.
No, I've got other beers in the fridge. Yeah,
Okay.
so I'll get to that. But I'm actually really looking forward to my third one. So I think I'm smashing powering through to get to the third one just because I want to drink it. But I couldn't drink it first, and you'll understand why when I go and get it. That Moondog ice cream sour was actually really easy to smash. Like it was 440 can, 7.5%, but just. Like I said, the sugar wasn't over the top. The sweetness wasn't over the top. The passion fruit and everything was blended really
Their ice cream
really well.
beers always seem really, really balanced and very, like, they had that ice cream pale out a little while ago, and I remember speaking to Robbie about it, and he was like, I'm not sure how this one's going to go, but it was a treat. It was just so, like you said, it was just so easy to smash. It's just the amount, I think that amount of vanilla and lactose they use just complements the flavors they're going for.
Yeah, they've done really well on that one. Well, I mean, it's Moondog. So, and I grabbed this because I haven't had a BrewDog beer from the Brisbane brewery. So I thought I'd grab it, and I actually, one of my brewers is good friends with their brewer up there. So I thought I'd grab it and give it a go. It's their Hazy Jane. It's their New England IPA, and it says brewed in Brisbane on there.
Cool.
And it's really good. It's not an over-the-top hazy New England IPA, but it's got all the features to it, and it's super smashable. Like, I think the percentage is like 5% or something like that. So it's 5%. But yeah, you would happily sit on a 6-pack of this and just down them. I think it's really good. The flavors aren't overpowering. You're not going to get palate fatigue from it, but it delivers on everything that you'd expect. Just not to the absolute nth degree. It's just in that really good sessionable range.
Yeah, good.
You okay, Pete?
Wowzers. Yeah, no, that was just a very surprising flavor profile for the little bits on the top of the can when you pour it. My second beer, the leavings, when you pour a beer and you get a little bit in the little top can, okay. I just gave it a little sip.
A little moat, when you fill the moat and then you got a little drawbridge over it.
Yeah. This is Big Shed Brewing's Beer Club Save the Date, Sticky Date Strong Ale.
You've cracked your second as well.
Yeah, well, I'm just getting on board, man. I mean,
fair enough.
You had your second. I haven't finished the first. I'm letting it warm up just to retaste it.
Yeah, that beer probably will taste better a bit warmed up.
And it was starting to get a little bit palate fatiguing as well. there's just a little bit too much astringency out of the coffee. So this is a 6.8% strong ale. Doesn't give me much information. Shapeshifter Brewing Co. So it was a collab between Big Shed and Shapeshifter.
I've got a Shapeshifter beer in my fridge, actually.
That's all the information that they gave me. But I can tell you, it's not what I expected. Sticky Date Strong Ale, I expected. I mean, that's an almost dark amber. It's probably not coming up in the light. I'm not saying it's the wrong color.
It looks like a raisin color,
but it's almost ice cream.
Oh, they've gone heavy on the sweet.
Really sweet. Yeah. Really sweet. It's not bad, but it's not what I expected. I expected like that really raisiny, datey. It's a sticky date.
So it was always sticky dates, Pete.
Hey, got it. Yes, I
had to put it in there. Sorry, my bad.
And we're usually so highbrow with our humor in this podcast.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yep.
Yep.
Metaphorically speaking, we all wear masks. I don't know if you guys recognize that quote.
No.
I do. I've heard it. It's just not registering though.
Do you want to know about your beer, Peter? I've looked at
Gremlins too. Yeah. Why not?
Oh, okay, that's right. He's on the talk show. Yes. They got to bring that guy back. I wonder where that fucking puppet
totally
is. Adam Savage from Mythbusters does his Adam Savage Tested channel at the moment. Not at the moment, does it? And at the moment, he's traveling around and going through a whole bunch of old props from movies. There's it's called Prop Store, and they auction off proper props from movies. So they had the full size hero, not full size, quarter scale Batwing from the '89 Batman, and it had a whole bunch of mechanisms in it. So the actual those teardropped bombs actually were on mechanisms that rolled out from the wings. He had a little 3-button controller with him.
Yep.
And the Gatling guns actually roll, and there's strobe lights in the front fuselage in the wings that are timed with the Gatling guns. The little Batman in there turns his head, and all the flaps and ports and everything on the actual Batwing works. But I just feel like someday he's going to come across that potion drinking wise gremlin in a box somewhere that they've got hiding away.
Fuck, there were some good actors in that show too. I would suspect a lot of them have passed on now. They were quite old when they did it. But Robert Picardo, which you guys probably don't know, he was the emergency hologram from Star Trek Voyager. Christopher Lee, Robert Prosky is probably not a name you'd recognize, but he was in fucking everything. Anyway, yeah,
from the original movie,
from Gremlins 2, the new batch.
Oh, from Gremlins 2.
I was trying to figure out who the voice was because I wanted to know if it was like a cameo psychologist. It would have been funny to get like a Dr. Phil in, or it's not Dr. Phil based on the voice, but
well before his time too. Probably
it was 1990. Tony Randall did Brain Gremlin, which I'm assuming
that would be him.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know who Tony Randall is. I recognize the face. I just don't know where from.
Got the one all made up of vegetables.
Yeah. It's a great movie, that one. Speaking of replicas, I was online the other day just poking around, and a 1-to-1 scale official Terminator 2 T800 skull is like $2,500 to $5,000 for an original. It's fucking mental. And you can always tell which ones are the phony knockoffs in like that Polystone shit, because they're the only ones under $1,000, and you can see the flaws in the casting. 3D printing's going to kill that at some point, though. When they get that down pat and they can finish the surfaces well, 3D printing will kill all of that.
Have you seen the Sideshow Collectables full-size bust? They do.
I've seen a few of them.
I think so. I've seen a Wolverine, but it's a real 80s cartoon style Wolverine.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just those. I haven't never seen one in person, but I think those full scale boss would be. I'm sure they're expensive. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would love to see one and just look at the detail and just fucking look them in the eye and just see what you get, because they sculpt them so well that there's so much personality in them.
So
did I send that to you guys? The place at the moment that's auctioning off all the Fury Road cars.
No.
There's a place that's like it's auctioning off the cars they used in Fury Road. You can buy.
You've got some room in your backyard, Dan.
You can buy the speaker wagon. The
Duffmobile.
The Duffmobile.
The Duffmobile. Oh.
We'll go with the metal fucking the axe at the playing on the front. Is that the wagon you're talking about?
Yeah, you can buy more.
The fucking Duff Warrior. I've got a Duff Warrior T-shirt. It says Duff Warrior versus the Mad. That's I love the Duff Warrior.
Well, yeah, having watched it the other night, it came up as like, obviously everything's listening to us now, but it came up as like, would this interest you? And I was like, yes, it fucking would. But you can buy all of them. You can buy what's his name? The not Imperator.
Immortan Joe.
Immortan Joe. You can buy his car. You can buy they remake the Interceptor and they chrome it. You can get that one.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you can buy the Warrig.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're road legal, but they did.
I don't care. You just park that fucker out the front. It doesn't matter if it's road legal. Fuck.
But yeah,
if you
it would be. You know what? It would be fucking un-Australian if a cop fined you for having an unregistered Warrig parked out the front of your house. The fucking Mad Max vehicle. It would be un-Australian of a cop. Completely. I'm calling that one.
But the fucking the scale fucking Optimus Prime semi at the front next to it, he'd probably book you for it.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Because
that should never have had flames on it. That's why he'd book you for it.
The cop that finds someone for having a Mad Max vehicle unregistered parked out the front of their house is going to be the one that ends up on fucking A Current Affair.
Special investigation.
Yeah.
So speaking of replicas, and we really do need to move on after this. So,
Non-Australian of the year.
I had a friend in my first company, or it might have been, no, it was high school. She won.
Talking friend or friend?
No, not a friend.
The sticky dates.
No. She was female actually, but what was that, Tom?
You said she.
Nothing. Nothing, Peter.
Stop making assumptions. No, it was just a friend. And I'm fairly certain it was someone I worked with when I was really young, so I 17, 18. Won a competition, like a radio competition. She won a 1-to-1 studio model of the alien from Independence Day. The one that Will Smith pulls out of the ship and drags out by his fucking dreads.
Tentacles and all.
Yeah. And she showed me photos. I obviously never saw it in person. She was wondering whether or not she should keep it or and store it somewhere, because it's fucking 6'2", 6'3",
yeah,
it's a
huge,
big fucking unit. And it was a proper movie prop. It wasn't a replica. It was from the movie. And she won it in this competition. She went on to sell that for $15,000. It's just crazy the amount of money people
collectibles. Yeah,
dumb people like me are prepared to pay for collectibles.
Did she sell it before the second movie came out? Because I'm sure it made a nosedive after the second movie came out.
No doubt.
Yeah. I've watched the first 10 minutes of that.
I don't remember it. I'm sure I've seen it.
Resurgence or something?
Yeah, I watched it. I definitely...
Insurgence.
A few years deep and I put it on.
Yeah. One of the two.
Yeah, not good.
Not
good at all.
Nowhere near the original.
No. Let's finish the news.
What's actually funny, well, speaking of collectibles, for those based in Australia, EB Games are about to start a collectible marketplace on online collectors for all things. They've got that Zing kind of side job,
which is
business.
fucking cool. They're one of the only places in Australia you can buy Hot Toys originals. It's just that Hot Toys suck cock when it comes to saying, I'll deliver a toy on this month, and then a year later, you still don't have your fucking toy. So they make the awesome Mandalorian models, and they do a shit ton of figurines. But I ordered the Captain America Endgame in January from a Hong Kong stockist on eBay, he's still in business and he's got like 8,000 5-star reviews. So he's legit and he constantly updates me. But it was supposed to be released in March or April and it's September and I still don't fucking have it.
That's no good.
Anyway. So they're launching a retro online marketplace.
Yeah, so it's essentially they've I had a look at it. It's like the kind of the beta of it, and it's kind of like eBay, but instead of having it an auction style, you literally would say, I would put up, I'd put up my lightsaber and say, I want to sell this for $1,500, and people would be like, sure, I'll pay $1,500 for that. So it's less haggling and like that. It's more just like, this is what I've got. This is what I'm selling it for.
It's just a marketplace.
Yeah.
So it's a marketplace for person to person. It's not a marketplace you sell to them and they on-sell.
No. But they will also be selling
take a cut.
Their stuff, but they will take a cut of whatever sale. Yeah.
I mean, that's fine. I mean, you're going to find some pretty good shit on there.
Oh, I imagine there's a bunch of people out there who are, who have shit they've been hoarding for years and, after a year and a half of various lockdowns and being out of work, they'll be like, well,
and having a 6'4" alien in your shed.
Yeah.
Just taking up room.
But
I gotta get the Harley out of here and he's riding it.
But it was the
cool idea.
They said they'll be doing a bunch of like selling old consoles, old video games. They did say that anything up to like the PS3 era, so anything PS4 kind of that whatever
would eat into their ridiculous rapage.
They're pre-owned consoles, yeah. So the stuff they've stopped selling, so they've got warehouses full of old PS3 games and stuff. But I'm sure there's bunch of people out there who'd want to go and get their hands.
Yeah, but
on
how many times have
buy.
they made their money over with that warehouse of games? Like,
millions.
Come in and trade in 10 of your games, and you'll get a $20 credit towards your next $150 game.
They're having
and
a sale
you bought the
at the
10
moment.
games from us anyway. So
yeah, but they're having a sale at the moment because I was on that and I was looking at I got the Outer Worlds. I bought that. It was like $25. The pre-owned copy was $28. Yeah. I got a brand new one for $3 cheaper. I was like, what? So they're doing that. And if anyone needs more games to get them through lockdown, if you're a PS Plus member, you're getting massive discounts on the store at the moment. So I happily dropped, $100 on some old games that I'd always wanted and never bothered to buy. So a couple of DLCs as well. So I'm looking forward to. They all downloaded and kept popping up as I was playing games last night. I was like, oh yeah, I can play that now. Yeah.
I can't stop playing the game I'm playing, which we will talk about later on. But I'm ready to move on, but I'm not ready to move on. Have you cracked your second beer, Tom?
No, don't yell at me. Technically, I'm 3 beers in. Technicalities. I love them.
Technicalities. What size are those small cans?
They're thimbles.
Like 200s or 350s?
250s.
350s.
250s. 250s. 250.
I wonder who fucking makes 250s. The little Coke cans come in 250s, don't they?
One drop. I had a 250ml one drop can the other day.
I think
it was their Nitro Imperial Pastry Stout. And they did a little 250 of that. They've done that for a lot of their bigger beers, like that. Okay. That stout was just something like 12.5%. It was like their rum barrel aged version. It was fucking rummy as all hell. But they've also, I know that they did their barley wine in that. They've done a few of their beers in those little tiny cans, but they're probably the only one besides Urbanaut that I've seen use them consistently.
No, yeah, because I think it's the little Coke. Well, I don't think it is anymore. Little Coke cans you used to get on fucking planes. Qantas and that used to have the little 250 Coke cans. No, I mean somebody Vizzy or Amcor, Aurora. They are now obviously they have to have the tooling to make cans that size. I was just wondering, and obviously they're not going to have that tooling just for the random. Craft beer company that wants to do it. I'm just trying to work out in my head who does that those 250s.
That size can.
But I think I remember seeing Sprite ones in that size too. So I think I'm
sure you can still get them on international flights.
Yeah, you probably can.
I think they are.
Yeah.
I think they are little tiny ones.
Yeah, it must be Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola or fucking Schweppes who own Pepsi. One of them must be doing it in that size. Yeah, interesting concept. Concept.
But I'm about to crack my second beer because I've almost finished that one. My second beer is the Red Hulk Smash IPA.
Lovely.
Which I think is really cool from Bonehead Brewing. Bonehead in Victoria. I don't think I've had a Bonehead beer before. It's their single malt, single hop red IPA, guest starring Azaka. I've gotten very, very on theme tonight with my beer choices. They're all comic or movie or Well, the last one's just a plain Star Wars ripoff, which we love.
Oh, yeah. I'm so disappointed in 8 Wide of that.
Yeah, I thought you'd really enjoy the fact that when I saw it, I got that from Carmen Sellers down in Melbourne. When I saw it, I was like, yes, I have to order that can. That's going to annoy people. But
it's just so uncreative.
It's blatant. Yeah, you'll see it when I crack it later.
Yeah.
But yes, I'm going to.
But I guess Red Hulk is a little uncreative as well. It looks like a nice label though.
Yeah, it's good label. It's got a little.
Yeah.
They don't actually show the Hulk's face. Maybe that's how they're getting away with it. But
nicely dodges it.
Yeah. And yeah, it's a nice, good, multi-looking red IPA.
So have either of you read the Red Hulk storyline?
No.
Yeah, that was. I remember when that came out. That was with War of the Hulks. I think that's where I first saw Red Hulk.
Because it's General Ross, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Thunderbolt Ross.
Yeah.
Who's kind of made a little bit of a resurgence in the MCU. His character came back after the dismal Edward Norton Hulk, and then he kind of disappeared and fucked off, and they brought him back in Civil War as the guy who brought in the Sokovia Accords. And he's featured in 1 or 2 of the What If episodes as well.
Yeah, good character in the MCU. I think it's that he really nails that. You believe him as a hard-nosed general. There's only a few of those characters that you just go, yeah, you know what? I'm not going to argue with him. He might be old, but I'm just not going to.
Well, I loved how he was always so anti-Hulk, and then for him to actually end up becoming the Red Hulk, and the mystery they put around that, because they didn't reveal that for arcs. There were like 2 or 3 arcs of the Red Hulk appearing, and no one knew who he was, and then all of a sudden it was like found out it was Ross, of all people, who was the Red Hulk, and it was like, whoa, shit, he was the anti-Hulk person. Like, he was the one who was always trying to kill him and take him down, but who knows? Maybe we'll... Maybe one day soon we'll get a little Red Hulk appearance.
Yeah, Red Hulk, Green Hulk showdown. That would be good, actually. Yeah. I mean, they've done that big man smash with Abomination, and we're getting Abomination again. But it just if you're going to give Hulk a solo movie, pit him against somebody who he has an emotional tie to, as well as a physical challenge to. It's double down on the character development side of it. It's because that's obviously what Hulk lacks most of the time.
Yeah. They could do it as a what if. It'd be cool if they started using that as a vehicle. It'd be cool if they started bringing in new MCU characters that they don't plan to weave into the movies through the What If series. Anyway. Speaking of resurgences, we already talked about a long time ago now, Charlie Cox reprising his role as Daredevil potentially in the MCU. There's now some very well backed up rumors that Vincent D'Onofrio is going to be reprising his role as Wilson Fisk or Kingpin. Although they've said that they're going to do a soft reboot relaunch of the characters, so they're conveniently using the multiverse as, those were variants in universes that were very similar to the one that we're setting the core MCU in.
That was the Netflix universe, and this is the MCU universe, yeah.
As long as they bring John Bartholomew back over as Frank.
Yeah. He was perfect as Frank
Completely
Castle.
Wasted in 2 seasons. And but anyway, continue. I interrupt.
No, that was it. It was just a little tidbit.
The big thing for a while was that Charlie Cox was going to appear as Daredevil representing Peter Parker in the next Spider-Man movie. That's what everyone was hoping and wishing for, that he was going to appear in that, but I don't think it'll happen.
Oh, there's a lot of cameos coming up for that No Way Home, though. They're now Garfield. I hate that actor. I can't stand him as Spider-Man.
Andrew Garfield?
Yeah, I really didn't rate him as
Spider-Man. You look at those 3 characters, obviously those 3 actors, sorry. You look at those 3 actors.
Tom Holland by a country mile.
No, see, I don't think so. You look at those 3 guys side by side, and I'm not talking about their acting ability or the movies they were in. You look at them in the suits, and I think actually Andrew Garfield looks most Spider-Man-esque, because he's tall, he's lanky, and he just looks like that mildly out of proportioned character.
The problem was they made his Spider-Man too arrogant and too trying to be cool. He should have he wasn't the real nerdy guy. Like, he was smart. He was book smart and everything like that side of Peter Parker, but he wasn't he was skating around and acting like the kind of rebellious little kid that he wasn't the traditional Peter Parker compared to the other two, which have played that more nerdy, quiet, reserved guy who suddenly gets the power to change everything.
Yeah.
But
I think Tom Holland's acting suits Peter Parker's personality better than the other two. And I think Andrew Garfield was furthest away. But I can't disagree about the physicality. I think what you're saying is probably right.
I still
it just doesn't read that way when I watch the movie, because it's overpowering with his personality and how far discordant the note is from the actual character.
And they were bad movies.
They were bad movies.
It's just down and out. They were
really
just bad
fucking
movies. That second one was shocking.
Yeah. That. Remember when they played the fight with Electro and he managed to play the Spider-Man theme on the giant electrical pillars? That's my favorite moment of those two movies. It was just
the atomic blue penis, the big blue cock.
Yeah,
What?
yeah.
Does he have a Dr. Manhattan? Does he?
No, it reminds me very much of Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah, it alludes to it, but
I thought it was a little bit too much for a PG movie to do a full frontal Dr. Manhattan.
A Sony property. I'm pretty sure they just managed to find one of those leaves or something to hide it. It was there, but it wasn't there. So I can't remember. It's been a long time. That's a movie I'll probably never watch a second time.
I will watch it just for that scene where he plays the Spider-Man theme on the giant electrical pylons, because that's gold. That's pure comedic gold.
I've watched it up to the point where Jamie Foxx becomes Electro, the supervillain. I've watched it up to there, and it reminded me so much of the second or third Michael Bay Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I don't even remember how many.
I think they've only done two.
They've only the second one then, and it was comically slapsticky, horrible, just badly written. The actors didn't want to be there. It was almost like they were just oozing how bad the script was. Like, they'd read it and they'd gone, oh fuck, I don't want to do this, but they're paying me way too much money to do it.
Yeah.
It just reminded me of the second attempt at the Fantastic Four. It was just plastic fantastic. It was
the
just
Josh Trank one?
out. I don't remember which one. I don't even know which one. Oh,
the number two. Yeah,
the Silver Surfer.
The Silver
one?
Surfer. Yeah, it was just a pop-out movie. That's what the second Spider-Man reminded me of. Anyway, we're out of news. Yay! We got out of news.
Congratulations, everybody.
Before the first hour.
There's no more news. No more news from the front. Everybody settle down. Go back to your lives.
Well, technically, if you put trailer trash in later on, that's news as well. But
quiet, Casper.
Are you up to date on What If?
No,
Dan?
And I don't care. I actually have not found them that riveting. I watched the first episode. I love the idea. I think the idea is fantastic. I think it's executed really poorly. I have
to agree.
I think the scripting is terrible. That first one, the Captain Carter, Captain Britain, the actual scripting dialogue that they gave to her and the Howling Commandos was fucking terrible. And I think they've completely...
It's just conceited.
They've missed a beat at keeping them in line with how well the Marvel movies are written. And I thought the animation was fairly poor. And
I disagree on that. I love the animation.
I love the animation too.
I thought the facial animation was horrible in that first episode. It was a bit better in
all the same.
T'Challa one.
It's all the same.
I think that's the fact they're kind of using cell shading. Cell shading is a bit harder to use.
They took inspiration from a
Wind Waker.
Yeah, who's
Sly Raccoon.
It's a style of art from 100 years ago that they used.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with cell shading. I love cell shading. I just don't. There was just something about it that was janky, and it reminded me of there was an old cell shaded Spider-Man series
Yeah, I remember that one. That was the Ultimate Spider-Man. I remember playing the game. Like that was the cell shaded Spider-Man game.
Reminded me of that, and it wasn't quite refined. And I think the script really threw me. Like it was just the writing of the script and the execution of not the storyline. I think the storylines were great.
So this is just one, or episode one? Or are you talking future episodes?
Well, that put me off so much. I really haven't gotten through too much more of anything.
See, episode 2, I think, was like a complete 180.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'm about halfway through that one, and I love the idea of the first one. I think the storyline was great. With Steve in the Iron Man suit, I thought it was fucking absolutely fantastic. I just wish that they were scripted a little bit better, better.
I've found myself a bit torn because I find there's episodes where I'm genuinely interested in, and I find that by the time it ends, I've got an emotional connection with the story, even though I know that it's not going to continue past that point. I kind of I was invested enough that it would be cool if it did. And other ones where I just like the latest episode, I did not rate at all the storyline behind it.
See, my big thing has been there's been a few of the episodes that it's gotten to the point where it's like, this is the peak of the story, and now we're going to get a resolution, and then it cuts off. And last night's episode, the Killmonger one, is a perfect example of that. It closes on this thing, and it's like, cool, I get it. It's the whole what if thing. Like, we don't need
dot at the end.
Yeah,
they've got to have the dot.
They don't have to go. It's not meant to be a perfect like arced story. It's meant to be like, well, this is what could happen, and then we'll go down this road, and then that road, and that road. But there's been a few of them. The zombies one.
I enjoyed that.
See, I was really pissed off because they ruined Marvel Zombies. If you've read the comics, it's completely like my friend Carl, he summed it up perfectly. He's like, it's like they looked at the like cover of the comic book and said, yeah, sure, I can make up a story using that. But they didn't go into like the whole, like they kind of picked little bits out of that comic arc, like that comic storyline, but they had like the whole drive for the hunger that's in the comic. They didn't use that at all. They just made standard mindless zombies. Just some of them had superpowers. It was
and Vision. That was an unrealistic representation of Vision's personality. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
for him to, I get that he loves Wanda, and I know that we've seen the WandaVision series now, and we've seen what happens when she goes dark for his death. But to have a realistic expectation that Vision would ever go evil because she died or turned into a zombie, it's just so conceited and outside of the character that it was unbelievable. And for that part of the story alone killed it for me. I enjoyed the zombies, but I felt like they were just killing main characters because they can. And it's like, this is the 3rd or 4th episode now. We've already got it. You can kill off main characters and there's no real consequences to the MCU. Don't do it just for fun. Like, it's got to have meaning now. You can't just kill all the characters because you can.
Yeah.
So I think Jeffrey Wright as the Watcher is fucking perfect, though. And if anyone's watched Westworld, I just cannot stop hearing him being referred to as Bernard from what's the actor's name? I'll find out in a second.
I will say the Doctor Strange one I thought was I really liked that one. You know, the what if Doctor Strange went bad because he was going up against a fixed point in time and how far he would go to break the rules, and kind of pinging on his whole I'm the most, you know, I'm the Sorcerer Supreme, how arrogant he is. The what if the Avengers?
It was cool the way they did that episode too, and I thought it was believable. That I bought. Hook, line, and sinker.
Easily you could see that being a cool, like, you know,
I'm powerful enough that I should be able to
through.
I should be able to save my loved one no matter what the cost is. And
but I really liked how they because the Watcher in the comics, he's meant to be this, you know, I just watch, but he intercedes so many times. He breaks that rule all the time in like the actual comics. So for him to actually step in that episode and being like, no, Strange, I know you can like perceive me here, but I'm not going to stop you, and letting that whole universe crumble in on itself, I was like, that was a cool fucking twist.
Yeah,
like,
it was.
That was like, just letting it go to that. That was a completion that I needed. But you know, when you go to like the Killmonger episode and it finishes with Shuri and Pepper Potts like trying to team up against Killmonger, you kind of like, yeah, I want to see what Shuri does. Or the zombies, it leave you on a cliffhanger. And you're like, well, is there a part 2? And then there's no part 2. You're like, that's not satisfying enough for me. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I tend to agree. Anthony Hopkins. I don't know how I forgot his name, but he's.
I forgot Anthony Hopkins.
So
Anthony Hopkins, isn't it?
That's right. Jeffrey Wright.
Because he's English, Pete.
Yeah, thanks for that callback. So Anthony Hopkins is one of the major characters, and Jeffrey Wright, in fact, is one of the central characters. The first, he is one of the creators. Yeah, and
actually,
Bernard.
Sorry, I apologise. Sir Anthony Hopkins is Welsh, not English.
Huh?
I'm pretty sure.
Close
he's
enough.
Welsh.
Close
No,
enough.
I mean, yeah.
Don't tell that.
We've got
It's like calling a Kiwi an Aussie and Aussie a Kiwi. We're not.
close
we're
enough.
not the same fucking thing. He's Welsh.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure he's Welsh.
We don't shag sheep. It's exactly the same joke that fucking English say about the Welsh. We've actually got quite a lot of English listeners too, so that'll at least resonate with one or two people. But no, Jeffrey Wright is a very central character the first couple of seasons of Westworld, and I just can't stop hearing Anthony Hopkins say Bernard every time he has that intro speech.
Right, okay, I see what you mean.
What if?
Yeah. It was good.
Yeah,
I also did like, it's a little thing, and like it doesn't really change much, but the Watcher is like this cosmic being that doesn't really has a body but doesn't necessarily need one. He takes on that form.
Non-corporeal.
Yeah, essentially. Like he's an alien, but he's an alien species, but he just kind of sits up he has his base on the moon in the comics. I did like the fact that they did have a person of color doing the voice, and they changed the Watcher to be a person of color instead of just being the traditional.
Looks like him.
Yeah,
he looks like the actor.
They gave him that credit, and it's like, it's good. It's rather than just essentially, which Marvel has been in trouble for whitewashing. They've taken a leaf out of that book and done it.
Winderbaum is one of the art directors for the series. Added that both Andrews and were inspired by the art style of American illustrator J.C. Leyendecker, who painted upwards of 400 magazine covers between 1896 and 1950, noting it's a very difficult style to achieve. It's very painterly. The light spreads in a very unique way. So it was, whilst I understand if you don't rate it as an artistic style, it was a conscious choice that they've used for the entire series. Because I'd already read the article before it came out.
Pretty cool fucking art by J.C. Leyendecker. That's they're fucking sick.
So they tried to kind of modernize it. Obviously they're doing a lot of 3D work when they're building these cartoons these days. So they tried to modernize it, but that was what they were inspired by.
Did you think that? Do you think Pepper Potts in the latest episode looked a bit too buff? She looked really. Yeah,
she did.
Really stocky.
It was a very 80s. I was waiting for the fucking the shoulder pads in the suit. There's only 2 episodes I enjoyed.
Yeah.
What if T'Challa was Star-Lord?
T'Challa.
Sorry. And the Doctor Strange went bad. They were the 2 that I really enjoyed.
That T'Challa Star-Lord episode was fantastic. The whole him talking Thanos into joining the Ravagers, just being like, he showed me like that's very T'Challa as a character. And
I laughed all the way through that episode. Actually, that was one that I was invested in.
It was fantastic. And just like I very much enjoyed the like end scene where Thanos was trying to explain his. No. I'm randomly killing half the universe, and everyone's like, "That's genocide, pal." And he's like, "No, because it's random." And he's like, "No, it's genocide. You're a killer."
It was very funny.
Yeah, it was very well done.
The Avengers getting killed off. The only part I really enjoyed about that was Tom Hiddleston coming in halfway through and just, I'm here to annihilate the fucking the planet.
Yeah,
in retribution for killing my brother. It was just a very cool moment for him. But,
I didn't mind that whole episode. I thought that was good. Yeah.
Like I said, I just felt they were killing characters because they can.
Oh yeah, I mean it's what if. Yeah, I definitely think the zombies was probably, as much as I enjoy a zombies kind of take on everything, and it was nice to see some of the I guess B team characters come to the forefront.
Yeah.
And the kind of relationships they formed as well. Just I don't know, they killed the whole zombies thing. Like if you read the Marvel Zombie series, it's actually kind of like cool and twisted how it works. And that one was just like, guess you like to eat people, and like there was no drive for the zombies to be have their like hero powers, and like I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Just didn't work for me. I actually really enjoyed last night's one, the Killmonger. I thought it just showed how good of a villain Killmonger is. Because I thoroughly enjoyed his whole arc in Black Panther, and I really like the fact they brought him back. I think his motivation is up there with one of the coolest motivations for the villains in the MCU, and to see it play out differently in this, I thought it was a really cool take. But yeah, it's what we're kind of halfway through.
He's a good actor too, Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan is a fantastic actor. But yeah, we're halfway through, I think, the series for this. So
yeah,
I'll be interested to see what other ones they pull out. I mean, I know there's one.
There's that many. I thought it was only going to be like a limited. So you've got 6 on here halfway through. Yeah, okay.
I think there's 10. I think there's 10 episodes. I know there's one coming up where Gamora becomes Thanos, and what would happen if Gamora was Thanos. There's one where Vision gets his Ultron final form and gets all the Infinity Stones from the artwork, which kind of sounds pretty cool.
There's only 3 more episodes in the season.
Okay, sweet, 9.
So it goes to 9.
It was 10. Yeah,
but they've already announced a second season of another 9 episodes. So,
I mean, there's so much they can do, and once they start bringing in more characters, it'll be But no, thoroughly enjoying it. So I'm not say thoroughly enjoying it. The ones I am enjoying, I'm really enjoying. The ones I'm not enjoying, I'm kind of sitting on the fence.
Yawning through. Yeah.
I wouldn't say yawning, but I'd say it's those story arcs. I'm left wanting. I want a resolution that I don't get. They're blue balling me. Let's put it that way. There you go. They're blue balling me.
Fair enough. I need to take a quick break. So do you guys want to keep talking, or do you want to take a break?
No, I was going to say grab a quick break, and I'll grab my
next 2 beers. Yeah.
Yep, because I'm fucking chomping at the bit to get this one.
Yeah, cool.
This better be a damn good beer.
It better be. It's better be for me too. I'm fucking hyping that motherfucker up. Better be good for me as well.
All right, we'll be back momentarily.
Yeah, welcome.
And we're back.
Oh, sorry, I was welcoming someone.
There's always Tom's always
just yelling,
just kind of breaking in halfway through.
You put a microphone in front of me. It's your fault, Peter.
Oh well, yeah, I did too, didn't I? I broke all quarantine. Actually, I didn't.
It was contactless drop off.
No.
You did the right thing about calling Service New South Wales first.
Yeah. It was a delivery.
What a fucking joke! What a fucking joke! After waiting an hour on hold to talk to the quarantine people about the rules, she's like, "No, that should be fine. If it's a contactless drop in an LGA of concern and you don't actually have any physical contact, then you should be fine. But if you get pulled over by a police officer, just explain it to them and he'll probably let you off." I'm like, probably. I'm looking for definitive here. And they're like, well,
everything's probably at the moment.
It's up to their discretion. It's like, for fuck's sake, I called you asking for rules and what I got were guidelines. Fucking government.
They're not a set of rules.
Anyway,
they're more like a set of guidelines.
Dan's got a boner for this beer, so let's start with Dan's
beer. I hope it fucking shows up on camera. Oh, it does beautifully.
Snug. Yes.
Snug.
I've recently had the Snug. It is good. It is so good.
This label is fucking gorgeous. You can just see it on the camera, the outline of Snug. So
some texture.
So he's in gloss. The actual creature's in gloss, and then the lines that are his hair are in the matte coating on the top, and then the outside of the label is in matte too. So he's black gloss on a matte black background. All the
cool.
white is gloss as well. So the black in between here is all raised too. And then this is all gloss, and there's his body comes all the way. It's cold, but so his body comes all the way down here in the gloss black as well. It's a fucking gorgeous label, and because it's black, it hides whether it's black on black, so it hides whether it's lined up. It's not, but it doesn't matter. Because
I just went to look at both the cans that I've got and the ones I had before. My 2 red IPAs I got tonight are lined up. The blatant Star Wars ripoff is fucking one ends up here and one ends in the pits of hell, and the Urbanaut doesn't really count because it's a solid label, but it doesn't line up. There you go.
See what I've done to you
2 out of
guys now
4,
looking
yeah.
at fucking labels. But yeah, I'm
really you
Wayward's
have,
only a
because I've
couple of
sent you
millimeters
photos all
off.
the time being like,
Yeah, I know.
these weren't lined up. Oh dear.
Unacceptable.
Someone's getting a strongly worded letter.
So yes, I am super excited for this can. So I am about to crack it.
What are you
Cool.
drinking, Peter?
Your second beer, Tomo. Oh, okay. I'll go next. Wayward Brewing's Irish Cream Dessert Stout. We've got a bit of a theme happening accidentally.
Oh, I had that the other night. That is very
Okay.
good.
It is spectacular.
Oh, look at that nitro sexiness. Oh, be still my throbbing erection.
If only that could be the episode title.
What? Instead of Tom's O-face, Tom's throbbing erection. And then in subtitles, while Dan
Just getting
pours a
worse.
nitro stout.
Yeah. That's a lovely pour.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah, wow.
Yes.
So Wayward's Irish Cream Dessert Stout, sweet and smooth with a splash of whiskey. It's a 7%. It's going to be a big
Yeah, I had that the other night. A friend of mine, she borrowed my whippersnipper. Say with that what you will. Little late for trimming the verge, don't you think? Come along, Samwise, speak. But as a thank you, she brought me a little 4-pack of mixed beers, being like, "Oh, I'm sure you've tried them all," and I hadn't. I had that one. You really get the whiskey in it.
Yeah, you do. So this is so I've gone from 6.5 to 6.8 to 7%, and I'm going to end the night with 7.5. So it's a nice little climb, which I'm really looking forward to my last
Man,
one.
that is gold.
Talk to us about
Oh.
it. Actually, no. First, Tom, introduce your third.
So I am drinking the Frank Moses Red Rye IPA from Open Reach Brewing. They're based down in Phillip Island. For anyone who has seen the fantastic movie series Red, you'll of course recognize the name Frank Moses, who's played by Bruce Willis. Frank Moses, a retired CIA agent who can't stay out of trouble. A complex character, Frank is smooth but at the same time very bitter. Malt-driven, hop-slinging, dangerous red rye IPA. And the label has the bullets in the frying pan on it.
It's a beautiful label. Yeah,
Ah,
fantastic. Yeah.
It is a really nice label.
Yes.
Yeah, fucking awesome.
Reminds me of the foil art covers you used to get in the comics.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that looks
Fucking
like a comic book
awesome
cover.
job. Yeah.
Also a great scene when he puts those bullets in the frying pan. I fucking love that.
Red was
It's such a
Red
good
was
movie.
written by Warren Ellis as well. I sent you guys the other day that I'm reading Transmetropolitan, the Warren Ellis series, comic book series where it focuses on a journalist as in a Judge Dredd future, but not quite as law driven.
I
And
almost
it's,
very semi-intoxicatedly watched Dredd the other night. I had the choice. I was like, do I want to watch Dredd? But I was like, no, I want to re-enjoy it. I don't want to, I was,
The Carl
Urban Dredd. I
one you're
was
talking about?
pretty pissed
Yeah.
at it. So instead, kind of on theme, I went and watched the Expendables 1. So I went from Carl Urban Dredd to Sly Stallone, the original Dredd, and I watched stupid blowy up everything.
Red's good for that
Red
too,
is
actually.
I watch Red once a year without a doubt. I love those movies.
Yeah.
Helen Mirren with a sniper rifle. Be
still my beating heart.
no, my throbbing erection.
How's the beard?
It is. It's got a nice
Does it
little bit
live
of
up to the
nice little bit of
promise?
spice from the rye. It's got a great strong malt backbone. And it's still hoppy enough. It's great. It's a fantastic red rye IPA. Love it. I would happily buy that again.
Cool.
I would happily bathe
Dan?
in this.
I'd happily bathe you in it.
Yeah.
Oh, I was getting
I'll
really
let you scrub
fucking
my back.
weird.
It's
I feel like one of Cleopatra's handmaids.
His hair's not white enough for a Witcher bath scene.
but I do want a bath that big that fucking Geralt can stretch out and put his fucking feet out because that's the only problem with taking a bath when we're all roughly the same height. That 6 foot and above, it's just fucking ridiculous.
Especially in a circular bath as well.
Yeah.
You don't have to deal with 100 kilos of fucking displacement too. You get out of the bath and it's like, where's all the water?
I follow.
Anyway, at least I only have to half
Speaking
fill
of
it.
that though, just quickly, the tattooist who's done all my pieces in his studio. He's like 2IC tattooist. On her station, she has a resin mold of like a statue of Geralt in the bath, and that's
Really?
that's her muse. So she has it up there, and when she's like getting stuck on like a particular line or anything, she just turns and looks at it. I watched her do it. She turns and looks at it and gets inspiration from Geralt in the bath, and then goes back.
So it's a 3D representation of
Yeah.
him
So
in the
it's
bath, like with like his feet
with the
sticking
feet up,
out the end
with
of
the
it.
feet up,
Oh wow,
yeah.
that's
Yeah,
awesome.
it's
I want one of those.
It sits up on her tattoo station. It was really cool. I was like,
that's cool.
I love that. She goes, yeah, that's my muse. I was like, oh, I fucking love that even more. That's gold.
Yeah, it's excellent. Yeah, definitely. This Snug is fantastic. I'm speechless. It's everything I wanted it to be. It's beautiful. It's smooth. It's not overpowering. It's got that chocolate hit to it. It's got a slight coffee backbone to it. The foam on it is still amazing. Try and do that. It just they've just nailed it. Just the whole aesthetic of the beer, the blurb that's on the can with that beautiful label, all laid out with a fantastic beer backing it up, and it's fucking 5%. Oh my god, it's 5%. It's
wow.
That is, I barely like anything over 6.5%, and to have a beer that good in 5% is even better. So,
Dan,
cool.
quick question for you. The hops used in this red IPA, I just looked them up. So I know of Columbus, I know of Simcoe. Artanum hops? AHTANUM? Do you know what that is?
Ooh. Hey, spell that for me.
AHTANUM. Artanum.
Oh,
It makes it Artanummy.
Yeah. Oh, it's a Yakima breed, so it's an American breed.
Yep.
Sweet, peppery, piney, citrus aspects, warmly aromatic, with moderate bittering. Is often liked to cascade. Less bitter. Grapefruit essence, significantly more pronounced. Yeah, it sounds like it's a lemony, grapefruity, peppery American hop. No, I've never heard of it.
That'll work with the rye. Well, there you go.
Used in Dogfish Head Blood Orange Hefeweizen and Stone Brewing's Pale Ale.
There you go.
Yeah, distinctly citrus characters.
Well, my dessert stout.
Oh, you've got another dessert stout. You're going to fucking have diabetes by the end of this episode, Peter.
Diabetes.
That was the Irish cream I was just talking about. Were you not listening? You were salivating.
I was completely distracted.
That's what was happening.
Absolutely sorry.
Yeah.
I cannot even remember the beer that Tom's drinking either. I was just absolutely distracted with this. So.
I'm drinking Wayward Brewing's Irish cream dessert stout with a twist of whiskey.
I'm having the Frank Moses beer.
And I've got
it's red.
Oh yes, that's right.
And you're drinking
Got it.
And this dessert stout is fantastic. I mean, it's pure sweet chocolate milk with just a hint of whiskey. I don't get a lot of whiskey out of it, Tom.
I got heaps. I don't know.
There's plenty on the nose, but the flavor profile it's very sweet, which is what you'd expect out of a dessert stout.
There.
I'll be back. I've just got to give some of this to my wife.
I was just going to show you something before you go. But it's not going to work. So there you go.
Yeah, okay.
There's Geralt in a bath.
Not quite as refined as I thought it would be, but
I mean, I'm not sure if it's that. That's from a fucking horror film. I don't know what that is.
That's
Jesus Christ.
So the image. So Pete, where your cursor is, go straight down to the game image. That's the one I had in my
the original.
Yeah, that's what I had in my mind.
Yeah, it looks. It's definitely a better version than that. It might be the one if you go down with the Witcher in the background, the Witcher book next to that.
Yeah,
it's all the same.
It's not. There are some of them that were fucking. That someone had eaten it and shit it out. That's what it looked like. That first one you showed us. Jesus Christ.
It's a partially digested fucking. So anyway,
the one that you Tom thought was shocking. It reminds me of Robot Chicken.
Yeah, yeah, but when they've slightly melted it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'll be back.
Yeah.
All right, Peter, go on. It's your time to shine. Tell us about your fantastic experience.
I need Dan here for this conversation.
He'll be
because back. No. I need Dan. Well,
I'll talk about the game I'm playing if you want. Okay.
Do that.
I did message you all about it, and you rightly called me out for not mentioning the game I was talking about when you had no idea. I finished Rise of the Tomb Raider, which is excellent, very very well done game by Square Enix, and I've moved on to Shadow of the Tomb Raider, which is the third in this rebooted Tomb Raider series. And I was going to say
Rambo
this,
on everybody's ass.
yeah, fuck! I just did the Rambo kill this afternoon. Oh, that was so good.
It's good fun.
Literally, she covers herself in mud, goes up against a wall, and then you actually get a trophy for it. She pops out and like grabs a dude covered in mud out of the mud wall and like stabs him in the neck, and it's like, and the trophy is called First Blood.
First Blood, yeah.
It's the best homage to the old Rambo.
It sounds a hell of a lot like Arnie killing the Predator.
That too,
at the end
yeah.
of
I think it's like a
Predator
bit of a mix and match of all of them. And I was going to save this for when we do the last little spotlight about people who are awesome at their day job, characters who are awesome at their day job. I kind of have to eat my words a little, I will admit. In the third one, I will admit, Lara Croft is a much better archaeologist in this one. So far, I don't think she's destroyed a single temple. And
Yeah, the second one, she's shocking. The first one, she's all right.
she just
The second
destroys
one,
everything.
She's shocking, yeah.
But
and
I've
then
also
the third
noticed
one,
that in the
she's a bit better.
gameplay, like in the second one, it was a lot more combat focused. This third one is a lot more puzzle oriented. Like there's little pockets of combat, but the rest of it is about like exploring the world and finding the artifacts. And then there's a heap of puzzles you have to go through to like, but it's all like, yeah, they're just, I don't know if it's because the second one was set in Siberia and, you know, Russia has such a violent history.
There's not many countries in Europe that doesn't have extensively violent histories.
South America, yeah, so,
equally fine, but, you know,
completely out of Europe.
Yeah. But no. Yeah, it just seems
Also, very violent history.
everywhere's violent.
And it was the Europeans that caused it.
Mm.
Well, some of it.
True.
Yeah. But no, it's very much, yeah, so I have to kind of eat my words. She is a much better archaeologist in this third one. But there's even one of the little notes you pick up along the way. They make comment about how gung-ho she is and willing to make sacrifices, but she's just driven forward. And it's just like, yeah, that was the second one to a T. She just destroys all these historical sites to get what she wanted.
wants.
And yeah, there's but yeah, very much enjoying the third one. But Peter, please.
All right, so I'm officially calling out. This will be the last time I talk about Assassin's Creed Valhalla for
Bullshit. Where's the bullshit
for
button?
at least 4 episodes. It's a new Doctor Who
Yeah,
button.
no. This is a self-imposed, by the way. This is not the group imposed. This is self-imposed. You need to be able to put a big red fucking marker on the screen or on the fucking
One of those stamps are like cancelled.
Here is the timeline. Here is the point of no return when Peter declared that he will no longer talk. Continue.
So I've finished it all now. I played Wrath of the Druids, which is set in Ireland after the original.
You didn't say what you were actually going to talk
storyline
about. Because I cut you off.
No, that's all right. So I'm talking about Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Colour me
the first
surprised.
DLC was Wrath of the the first DLC was Wrath of the Druids, and I yawned my way through it. It was more of the same. The mechanics hadn't changed. The structure of the story hadn't changed. It wasn't engaging. It was just fucking boring. And I almost put it down.
Which I said to you, which reminded me of AC Odyssey when doing the DLC for that.
Yes, very much.
It was more of the same.
Very much. But then I found the Mastery Challenges, which I think were released as part of a patch. And it was much betterer. Like it was thoroughly enjoyable. So basically, and I've got a bit of a backdrop for the guys to look at while we talk about it. Obviously, if you're listening, then you're not going to be able to see it. But they restored the puzzle mechanics. Let me just turn the volume off. They restored the puzzle mechanics that I've been sorely missing for a long time. So basically, it's a series. It's like an Olympic Games style thing where you load in and you've got 3 sets. You've got the Raven puzzles, the Wolf puzzles, and the Bear puzzles, which is aligned with the rest of the game. So in the Raven, you have to kill all of the guys in this kind of fixed area. It's a self-contained
That's not
map.
playing very well.
You have to kill.
Yeah, it's playing like shit, to be honest.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
For us, it looks like it's
like every 10th frame.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Okay. Well, you'll just have to listen to my voice rather than what's on the screen. But basically, you have maybe 20, 25 guys in the zone in the Raven version, and you cannot be seen. In order to get a perfect score, in order to get a gold medal, there's a medal system in this Olympic game style thing. You have to get a certain number of poison kills for this particular mission, a certain amount of assassinations. You must remain anonymous, and you have to steal the treasure at the end. But if you don't execute this perfectly, and it's open, so you could, kill the first 4 guys you see with poison, and you have to assassinate everyone else without being seen. Or you can leave your poison kills until right at the end. So it's up to you how you progress, and you have to take quite a lot of risks in terms of almost being seen. There's quite a few areas where I was almost seen. But in order to get the maximum score, you have to be absolutely perfect.
So this is you,
I took
this
a video.
Is you playing now? Okay.
Yes. Yeah, this is me playing now.
I wish I could watch it properly.
Yeah, and I'll send you a copy, but it's thoroughly enjoyable. I mean, I replayed some of these missions, particularly the final ones. I think there's 5 sets of missions, and for each, so there's 15 missions total. There's 5 bears where you just have to kill them, but you have to kill them like melee attack with your sword or your axe or whatever you've got. But it defines what gear you've got. It defines what power level you are. It defines what special abilities you have, and so it's extremely limited. I'm going to skip past this one, and it's really, really unfortunate. It's playing really badly for you guys, but yeah, you've got to kill specific numbers of bad guys in specific ways, and then you get into the challenge of the wolf, which is the bow, the bow skills in the game are called the wolf-oriented skills, and so you start off in the top of this massive spire, and all the bad guys are laid out in front of you. You're given a shit bow, but it is a predator bow, so you've got like a high level of zoom. It's like a sniper rifle, if you like. You have to get a certain amount of poison kills, a certain amount of explosive kills, and every other kill on the map must be a headshot. So you'll see me reset it a couple of times because I keep making mistakes, and you have to learn which of the 30 guys around the map you have to kill with explosives, because you've got to kill 4 of them with explosives. You've got to kill 5 of them with poison, and you've got to get 20 headshots in a row. And if you make one mistake, you reset.
So with this, like, you can move, can you? You just got to kill them with both.
Yeah.
So this reminds me of there was a Hitman thing that came out called the Sniper Challenge. And
I remember when that came out. Yeah.
Did either of you ever play it?
No, I've never played a Hitman.
No. You're just in it. Well, no, this was just a teaser. So this was, you were, what Pete's saying here about having to do all these bits and pieces. You were just Hitman in his sniper position overlooking this large building balcony area, and you had to take, like, a scenario would play out over a 5-minute time period. You had to do the same thing with the sniper rifle. If you could take guards out, and then you'd have to hit them so their bodies would fall off balconies or into gardens or into pools and hide the body as they fell in. Interesting.
I thoroughly enjoy these challenges. It's particularly for the stealth missions where you can't be seen. You really have to sit there and just watch the patrols move past you.
Time limit, Pete? Okay.
No. Which I loved. But I sat there, and there were several stealth missions where I sat there and counted the seconds before the patrol returned. So I knew exactly how many seconds there were for me to go up, kill that guard on the left, hide his body in the bushes to my right before the guard in front of me turned around and faced me again. So I sat there and counted his fucking paces, so I knew I could get it all done in time. And I knew when I was coming up to the, oh shit, don't kill the guy, run back and just hide in the bushes for the next cycle. So it was thoroughly enjoyable. So they were the mastery challenges.
So this reminds me of, and like this was the end part of getting the Tomb Raider 2 plat that I just did, was you had to replay all the missions in the score attack mode, which is what I messaged you guys about. But it was literally, it was basically a replay of the entire game. You best did it in the survivor difficulty, which I played through the first playthrough anyway. So you basically don't auto heal. You only save at certain points. little campfires. But like it was based on a point system, and then they gave you score, like kind of in the video you show, you got to get 1,000 score or whatever. So this gave you like a various target debating if it was like a more puzzle heavy part of the level or if it was a combat heavy one. But then the difficulty you did it on for combat. So if you did it on survivor difficulty, it was like a 3 times bonus. But then you also got to pick 5 and it had this weird card system, which is I think what confused you, Pete. But it was like you picked 5 cards and they would either make the game harder or easier for you depending on what you picked. So if you picked no ammunition at the start, you got 100% bonus to whatever score you got at the end. And then, you know, if you use the thing that was like no healing except via like manual healing, like no auto healing, then that was another thing. And you could have up to, well, if you had 5 100% cards, you could have a 500% bonus. So if you had a score of, you know, 100,000, you'd only have to hit 20,000, whatever. But it's a similar thing. But the only difference is, well, one of the main differences is in that, in the game I was playing, they had all these little like flames that you could pick up, and that like generated a combo. So it was more like you couldn't stop and watch. You had to just get the highest combo by picking up all these things and killing all these dudes without being seen and without being hit. And it was essentially you had to do a flawless playthrough of the entire game.
And that's what I really enjoyed about these. And like whilst I replayed some of these missions, this is actually the last. The video I took is of the 5th and final of the bow skill test and of the stealth skill test. And to be honest, the melee skill test was easy. You know, go and kill 5 guys with your bare hands. You couldn't pick up any weapons. You have to use the only special ability they gave you on a certain number of guys to ram them into the wall. And you had to line them up. So you had to get their health down, wait until they were facing a wall, or position them, position them between you and the wall, and then crash them into the wall. You can see I fucked up here and I had to start again.
Oh, so, really? After that long?
Yeah. But it was really, it was a hell of a lot of fun just sitting back and just observing the patterns. It was a puzzle. And I really enjoyed that because it's been a while since there's been any real puzzles in Assassin's Creed. The last thing I wanted to show you guys was I don't know if you can see that actually. No, you can't. This is an example of the sandpit missions that they were talking about, that I talked about for Siege of Paris. So basically, you and so I finished the Mastery Challenges and then moved into the Siege of Paris DLC. And I did all of the side quests for the trophies first. I went and collected all the collectibles, and then I started the storyline yesterday morning, and I finished the storyline last night, and I was pissed off that I'd finished the storyline. So it has breathed life into Assassin's Creed again for me, because the Valhalla experience wore off really quickly for me throughout the main storyline. It was boring as shit. The first DLC, Wrath of the Druids, boring as shit. Siege of Paris was fucking fantastic. So these sandbox missions, all of the storyline missions are like this. You work your way through, I mean, you do some lead up quests and you meet the characters and you kind of get invested in those characters and you do various things. But the main assassinations, you have to go around and collect information about your target. Now, they tell you who your target is, so it's not like the first one out with Altair, Dan. Let me just stop sharing my screen. It's not like the first one where you have to overhear and you have to figure out who your target is. You know who your target is, but he's behind an impenetrable fortress. There are no gaps in the fences that you can climb over. There's no the typical, underground tunnel system where you can just bypass the walls. You cannot get in unless you go to the slums and talk to people at the bar. Find out that this guy goes to a brothel on a regular basis. Find out who his favorite girl is. Find out how to sneak into the brothel while he's there and assassinate him. Or, you might assassinate one of his lieutenants who happens to have a key for the gate or the secret passcode to get through the guards at the front of the gate. So you have to gather information about your target. You could go in guns blazing and just kill everybody if you wanted to.
Why are they leaving this till the fucking DLC on the fucking 7th game or whatever it fucking is? Like, seriously. Like, why is this not main body content in the main it blows me away.
I know.
It absolutely.
You know
blows
why?
me
Because it's
So-
probably one of the guys who works in the development team has finally said, "Hey, let me head this DLC up. Give me this project, and I'm going to put this shit in because I was an original Assassin's Creed fan, and I want this shit brought back into the game."
Yeah, so I was showing, for those listening at home that aren't watching it on YouTube, I was showing the guys a screenshot of like it pops up some information when you first get into one of these sandpit missions, and it says, there's multiple ways to assassinate the target. You can walk in and kick everyone's ass if you want to. You want to take on half the fucking army, do it. You can sneak in, wait for him to walk past you, assassinate him, and then have to fight your way back out. Or you can gather information outside of the sandpit zone, talk to this person over here in this slums, and they'll give you a key, and go and talk to this person over here who used to be his friend and gather information about, you'll find out that he's going to be at this place at this specific time. And you make
Which
sure
is
you're there.
Probably more authentic as an assassin. That is exactly what you do. You
Exactly.
wouldn't Leroy Jenkins
there was
the first option where you just run in and fucking, well, at least I
But
still
that's
got
what-
chicken.
But that's what the games
But there
are.
are assassination events. But there are assassination events where if you gather enough information, you enter from the right area, you grab the cloak, and, this is a very religious game. Returning back to France, there's always been religion in the games, unquestionably. But the Valhalla is more about the Norse kind of the Viking invasion and its encroachment, while Christianity is also pushing out the pagans of the land at the same time. There's a lot of mishmash going on with religion. This is very clearly, Francia has embraced Christianity, and then the Northerners come and invade. So lots of Bible bashing going on, lots of weird, funky shit being hidden behind Catholicism. Lots of fucked up stuff, but one of them's about purging yourself of sins, and only like 1% of the people that go into this priest for purging themselves of sins actually survives the process. So you steal someone else's cloak, you convince him, because he's not sure that he wants to go through with it, convince him to let him take your place, give me your cloak, puts a cloak on, and then you get right up close and personal with your assassination target, and it's all just a very perfect cutscene. Cool. But the end boss was a puzzle as well. You could choose to just kill the end boss. There was a specific way of killing him, and I won't go into details because it is a spoiler if anyone wants to finish it and enjoy it that's listening. But you had to do a specific thing. You couldn't actually damage him directly. You had to do it indirectly. And it didn't tell you how to do that. You had to gather information leading up to that mission to find out what he's scared of, what's going to hurt him. But his wife, at the very end of the storyline, asks you not to kill him.
My wife.
It's difficult to kill him. It's even fucking harder to figure out how to avoid killing him. And I thoroughly enjoyed that as well. But by the end of the storyline, and it was only a day's worth of gameplay, I was thoroughly emotionally invested in the characters, and I was really disappointed the story ended, but I was on the edge of my seat the whole fucking time.
Sorry, Pete. I know you said that you lied and said this is the last time you're going to talk about AC Valhalla. But didn't they say we're doing DLC for this for 2 years? So, yeah you lied.
Yeah, but I don't know. But I don't know if they're doing real DLC or if they're doing more river raids. So they've just released another river raid pack where it's just repeatable.
Is that where you
monotonous
shit.
fucking cookie cutter crap?
In the river raids, do you row your boat gently down the stream?
Yes.
Mutilate the little priest, happily as can be. Row.
And you can cheese it too. So it's a whole new mechanic. So river raids were always
funny. Oh, sorry.
River raids were always in the game. Dan, you've done some river raids, but there's a whole new side mechanic on a different map, with a different set of mechanics, a different ship, and different currency,
and a different crew, and you have your Yoms.
It is very rinse and repeat.
Yeah.
But I also found out you can cheese it. So instead of having your Yoms Vikings eventually die, and there's only so many times you can complete, there's only so many missions you can complete before you have to go back to base and start again, and you rinse and repeat. Instead of doing that, you can just park your ship in the water, go in, annihilate everybody by yourself stealthily, and then blow your horn when the last man's standing. And all your Yoms Vikings run up. There's 8 guys in full armor at full health, annihilate this one guy, sack the city, burn the city down, kill all the women and children that you left standing, eat their dogs, get their cats pregnant, and then fucking leave. So You never put them at risk.
That's one mechanic that I've played quite a few hours of Valhalla. I've played close to 50 hours, and the one mechanic that they kind of not drive into you, but they go, "Oh, you can do this," is light your fucking torch and throw it on a thatched roof of the area that you're raiding. It's like, why? I did it once in the fucking tutorial. I have not done it again. Like, it is absolutely fucking pointless.
And yet you can't kill the fucking priests. You're invading a monastery, but if you kill a priest accidentally because he got in the way of the guard, then you desync and have to start again.
There's a lot of priests that probably need to be killed. Like, they're doing some dodgy fucking shit.
But that alone, I know you've brought this up before, that alone is a ridiculous mechanic. Okay, I get
it's a dumb line.
I get the civilians that are in the area at the time sometimes.
Yeah.
They clear out pretty quick. Like, these guys, these priests stick around, man. Like, if you're staying there and they really want to run this as not as a historical thing.
Viking era invasion.
You got to let them slaughter
all the characters are real. In fact, I've learned more about real history. I mean, I've said this too many times before. I've learned a lot about real history from Assassin's Creed games because whilst they're a fictional story, they're set in a real universe, in the real world, and every major character is a real person. So if you go and Google who Charles the Fat is, you'll get the full story for who Charles the Fat is in real life.
You could have picked anybody, but you picked Charles the Fat.
Well, you got to pick Charles the Fat.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just reminds me of I think Emma had sent me this meme before. It was like a story of a high school group that get lost on a tour of Italy, but then this one kid pipes up and goes, "I know where to go," and it's like he learnt it all from Assassin's Creed 2. It's like, I know it's probably not true, but god damn it, I hope it is.
You know, they do real runs through like the Assassin's Creed Italy tour, where they go and visit all of the main landmarks from the game.
That'd be cool.
Oh no, there's definitely games that like the Spider-Man games are a perfect example. Like the amount I've been to New York a couple of times, but the amount of times I've been like, I just need to go down here, and Emma's like, why? And I was like, because in this Spider-Man game,
there's a Riddler clue at the end of the street.
In this Spider-Man game, there's something here. I just want to check if it's there, and it is. Like, it's so authentic. Like they get proper topographical maps and go, this is New York. I mean, New York's easy because it's a fucking grid, but you know. There's plenty of games like based in real world cities where they really put the research effort in, and like
even fake cities like Grand Theft Auto 5 has real LA streets
Hollywood
in there. It has
it's a truncated
Rodeo
version,
Drive.
but
you can the jewelry store that they rob, the first heist in the single player is. I have been to that corner on Rodeo Drive, like where Michael walks out and that gets caught on the camera. I don't think it's a jewelry store, but that's a proper little side alleyway on Rodeo Drive. Like it's cool. Like it's really awesome to be in those little areas, and Santa Monica Boulevard in GTA 5 going up to Venice Beach. It's all pretty authentic. Like it's a good replication of that area.
So I mean, and Charles the Fat was a real king. He was Charles III. He was Charles III, and in the game
England.
he's kind of no France. Francia. Yep.
That's why
Francia is the name of the country back
then.
then.
I've never heard of Charles the Fat because I did not give a fuck
Say
about
it right,
French.
Frenchie. I'm going to enjoy this. It's chowder.
That's where all the castles came from originally. But yeah, in the game he's a little bit crazy. He's got like demons talking in his head. He's almost portrayed as schizophrenic.
Syphilis.
But in real life, he had epilepsy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because his demons are telling him, no, it's fine. And he's like, no, shut up, syphilis.
Anyway, that's it for me for ACV.
Until
But
the next DLC,
the
when you
second
said you promised
DLC
you'd never talk about it again, but then you will the next DLC.
I never said I'd never
You
talk
did.
about
That
it
about
again.
half
I
an
said
hour ago.
several episodes. I'll fucking rewind the tape, bitches. I said for at least 5 episodes is what I fucking said.
no.
That's a new little star in the contract. Like,
That's a caveat.
Please go down.
I will rewind it.
You fucking rewind it.
Yeah.
I will. But yeah, Siege of Paris restored some faith that if they did that for a whole game,
Yeah, but they
that
won't,
would be
so there's no point.
that would be a good AC game.
Just
Did you hear a bunch of guys from the original Ubisoft Montreal have split off and started their own studio?
What's it called?
I don't remember.
Good story.
But they've started it in. but some of the original guys from the AC crew, from a couple of the other games that really bombed out, they've said that they're keen to get back to their roots and stop making these open world bullshit RPGs. Is exactly how they put it. And this is just after they've moved. So they started a new studio and immediately started trashing the shit out of Ubisoft.
And so they should.
Is this the Amazon one? Sorry, I just jumped into the news. New studio will be led by industry veterans who worked on Ubisoft's Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege.
Yeah, and Splinter Cell and Assassin's Creed.
Those guys. Oh, okay, there you go. That's it's an Amazon studio, apparently.
Okay, well, that doesn't bode well.
No.
Amazon studio. No, it's partially owned.
You're going,
by a publishing
you're going
company.
from one fucking demon to the next. It's not.
It might not be the right thing.
I don't think it's an Amazon studio.
Let's move on to some
next
trailer trash.
Okay.
Yeah.
Trailer trash. Don't talk about Matrix because I'm going to go and pee.
Well, all right. We'll talk about Hawkeye. Hawkeye looks fun. That looks fun.
It looks
fun. It looks like a little Christmas romp through the snow. And I'm assuming probably New York City because that's where most Marvel properties are based. But knowing how kind of cool Kate Bishop is as the junior Hawkeye in the Young Avengers series, that is the girl who features in the trailer. Her name is Kate Bishop. She is the kind of Hawkeye copycat. She was featured in the never to be spoken of again Square Enix Marvel Avengers game as one of the DLCs. But she's essentially got the same deal as Hawkeye. No real superpowers, just super well trained, semi-superhuman accuracy kind of thing.
Do you reckon she'll take over from him?
The whole idea is that she
he's
does.
got to be close
so
to
in the comics she
retiring,
does. And then Kate Bishop becomes Hawkeye, and Hawkeye takes on the more of the Ronin thing vibe that he had in Endgame. This seems to be dealing with the...
There were already callbacks to that.
In the trailer,
says
the first trailer, they definitely call back to Ronin appearing again, and she's actually wearing his Ronin kind of armor in the trailer, and that's what we start off with is the two Hawkeyes, but
he said that his dark times have caught up with him or something like that.
He was literally eliminating the entire underworld one by one.
Yeah.
We're talking about Hawkeye, Dan, just in case you didn't pick up it.
I guessed that.
Okay, good. But yeah, no, it looks fun. It looks really fun. I really hope they just, like, what's his name? Jeremy Renner is one of those guys. I just feel like he has fun with the character now. Like, he first complained, he first complained in Avengers. I think that Ben
he didn't have
said
enough
that.
of a part.
And he didn't. He was instantly sidelined to a B-side villain, supporting villain character, and then he got his comeback, and then he's slowly become like who would have been the real world kind of mentor, being like, look, we're not gods, we're not whatever, but we've got given this shit and we're going to do it, which he does in Ultron. And then he was fantastic in Civil War, and then a real focus in Endgame.
He was.
So
he was.
It's good that he's finally got his show, and he's finally got his time to shine. And I love Jeremy Renner as an actor. I think he's fantastic. I loved him in
is it a movie or a series?
It's a Disney Plus series.
How can it all be set during Christmas?
Well, I mean,
Well,
it's America. Christmas goes from fucking
12 days of Christmas.
But also, it's America. November is basically
episodes?
Christmas time.
Yeah.
As soon as Thanksgiving's done, it goes straight into Christmas. Yeah.
Mary Krasansky. All right, Matrix Resurrections. I think erections are the right words to put in there for Dan. Dan, you were very keen to make sure that you took a leak before.
I just had, like I put in the chat when I watched it, Tom sent the link to it. That came through to my phone while I was on my way to the work.
I was on my way to the work.
the work. My wife. I pulled up and it was on my phone. I happily sat there for the next 2.5 minutes or whatever the trailer is and watched it. And like I said in the message, I had all the right feels from it. It was nostalgic to a point. The music.
And they've aged.
Oh,
the actors have aged
Keanu
visibly.
Reeves and Carrie-Anne Moss. She's gorgeous, and he's just a hunk of a man anyway. And they're just
sorry, no, he's breathtaking.
He's breathtaking, is he?
He's breathtaking. That's what he says to people when he goes, "No, you're breathtaking." It's like, no, Keanu, you're breathtaking.
It just hit all the right notes for me. It played out really well. I think they really.
They've upped the ante with the effects.
Yeah, well, that too.
Well,
that's just modern. But that trailer really lent into the fans. It was him pouring a bottle of blue pills into a fucking sink. They don't explain them. They don't talk about it. Morpheus at the point doesn't say take the red pill or take the blue pill. You just see the blue pills in the fucking sink. Unless you know what the Matrix is all about, you don't know the significance of that.
Do you think it's going to be a relaunch for them into a new trilogy?
This is what we were saying. I think it is to an extent, and my worry is that we're still going to get Neo able to do more in this throughout the movie than he could do in the original, but I still think we're going to see an underpowered The One by the end of the movie. I think that where he deflects the missile into the helicopter, that's going to be like 3/4 of the way through.
See, I reckon that looks more like a like an instinctive rage. It's like, you know, for lack of like using the force as a thing, it's like it's reaching out with the force and just going, oh, I need to deflect this. It's not as controlled as some of the stuff he gets as he goes through the other Matrix films.
But he was also stopping thousands of bullets coming out of a machine gun. First of all, I don't know. I haven't done any research.
Nor have I, and I'm fucking leaving it. I'm staying away from it completely.
Yeah, I've literally just watched the trailer.
I strongly suspect this is the start of a new trilogy.
Probably.
I strongly suspect it'll be a concentric circle from the original trilogy, meaning it'll get to the halfway point of the second movie by the end of the first movie this cycle around. So I do think they're doing a soft reboot in the sense that the characters are having echo memories of the previous lives in the whole trilogy.
Mythos of the Matrix.
In the ethos of, exactly. Mythos, thank you. But I think they'll progress it faster and fucking they need to. They better. They can't do the new Star Wars trilogy
the architect
on us.
back in with his
I reckon
he was the guy at the end.
The guy at the end or Neil Patrick Harris?
Yeah.
No, the guy who had replaced Neil Patrick Harris in the last scene, because it's his psychology office, but it's not Neil Patrick Harris anymore.
Okay. It just the Neil Patrick Harris with the blue rimmed glasses. It was all too It
so
was
I
too
reckon, are you talking about
set up.
what's his name? Thomas.
The guy
something.
The guy that says we've come full circle back to the Matrix.
The guy whose mouth closes over.
Yeah.
Because there's a guy in the trailer who gets the Neo, his mouth sticks.
I didn't see that.
I didn't see
you
that.
weren't paying attention, were you?
Did we see the same trailer?
I sent you the trailer that I watched.
Or were you fucking with the
Jonathan
website?
Groff?
Yeah,
Jonathan
but
Groff
I've also.
Is his name? He's definitely in it.
Is it a black guy? No. Well, the guy isn't the guy. No.
Oh, can I share my screen? Oh,
you know who he reminds me of? He's the lead singer from Green Day.
That's who he reminds. Green Day.
Big Green Day. Yeah,
big smile day. Let's go to Green Day.
Hey, Green Day.
It's the Mexican version of Green Day, all right?
Little Green Day.
Hey, Green Day.
Let's see if I can do this. If I pull that up and then go screen.
He had a really badly black-blue dyed hair right in the last scene.
How do you know he's the architect? Have you looked into it? Have you?
Is that
no?
Is that the guy you're talking about? Is that sharing for you?
It looks like him.
So he's
Could
in.
be him.
He's that's Jonathan Groff.
Mm.
He's in one of the scenes. He's been in a bunch of stuff. He's an actor. He's been in a bunch of stuff. But
I reckon he's the architect.
I reckon he's potentially the new Agent Smith
Yeah.
because he was.
Yeah.
It
But
feel
you
like
see
he
the
was
new Agent Smith?
There's a
Yeah.
scene. There's a screenshot of him, and it did its rounds on the web of him with, and it was taken from the trailer where his mouth does the glued together effect from
Ha.
Matrix 1.
It's
But he does the
It's
head wobble
probably
too.
Neo
And
doing it
you
to
see
him.
the agent.
No, I reckon it's him freaking out Neo, being like, remember this motherfucker from when I, fucking had you? And yeah, so like he's doing the agent.
I knew I should have downloaded the fucking trailer
He
before
did
we
the
started.
Agent
I was
Smith
going
thing,
to
but yeah. I
why
don't know.
on earth did you not? On earth.
download the trailer. There's a difference between just watching it on YouTube and me downloading it. It's like 6 gigabytes or 10 gigabytes or something because I downloaded it in the full 4K edition.
It's fine.
So
it's fine.
it's not something
Anyway,
you just
I
do in a
I
couple
just
of
reckon
minutes.
he's potentially going to be the
Shut up, Dan.
new Agent Smith character. He would be perfect for it as well. He was in Mindhunter. If you guys watched that, he was the lead, one of the lead. Oh,
No.
You missed out. You got to watch Mindhunter. It's
all the references that you're making.
No,
we
watch
haven't seen.
Mindhunter as well. Everyone watch
Frustrating, isn't it?
Mindhunter. It's about the FBI when they was first figuring out how serial killers tick. It is fantastic.
Oh yes, yeah. I did.
I have seen that. That was
yeah,
brilliant.
that's right. Yeah. Anyway, but no, I reckon he's potentially the new Agent Smith.
You could be very much right there because they didn't show. They showed agents, but they didn't show anybody who was prominent enough to be a head
did
agent
see-
Smith. Yeah.
Yeah, I did see another little cool bit, which was I don't know if you guys noticed it when watching the trailer, but there's a scene when they're doing
Oh, look out! Yep, that's him.
yeah, he's definitely
I reckon he's the architect.
See,
No.
I reckon Neil Patrick Harris is the architect, and I reckon he is the new Agent Smith.
Yeah, I'm with Tom on that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
There is a scene in the trailer as well. It's like a blink and miss it moment, but someone picked it out, and it's there's like a projected on a screen, and it's when Neo's first being encompassed in the silver. That scene's being played, so it's that whole thing of like the cyclical essence of the Matrix, how it reboots and stuff.
Yeah.
And Morpheus, young Morpheus or new Morpheus touches the mirror.
Yep.
There's a scene where he
Yep.
touches the mirror. I really want that Morpheus to be the digital projection of his Lawrence Fishburne. I want him to be in the real world old Lawrence Fishburne. And
In his John Wick, like homeless crazy man.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
vibes.
exactly.
Yeah.
And in the Matrix, I want him to be that young guy because I really like the idea of them getting Lawrence Fishburne back and him going, no, fuck it, I'm not going to do all this martial arts training. Get some fucking young to get in there and play me in the Matrix. He can learn all this shit. He can go through the fucking 6 month of martial arts training to learn all the choreograph and go up against Keanu, who's been doing fucking John Wick movies for the last 10 fucking years.
Century, yeah.
You put some fucking young fella in there, I'm not going to do it. I'll sit in a chair with a fucking plug in the back of my head.
Stop trying
and
to
do
hit
the
me, hit
real
me.
world shit.
Did you notice the replacement for Gloria Foster? So she was the old African American lady.
The Oracle.
Where he did There Is No Spoon.
Oracle. Yep.
Yeah, the Oracle, right? Did you notice the new Oracle?
Well, they had to
She's
they had to
younger as
replace the
well.
Oracle in Matrix
she
Revolutions because
passed
she
away.
died of throat cancer.
Yeah.
So that's, I strongly suspect, with
Oh, yeah,
the red
100%. She's
glasses,
definitely-
Ah,
To
red
counter the
glasses.
blue
Yeah. Oh,
glasses.
yeah. Neil Patrick Harris then 100% is the architect.
Yeah.
100%. She got red glasses, he's got
Mhm.
blue. Yep. No fucking way is that not.
So-
Can I interject quickly and talk about my fourth beer?
Go for it.
Thank
Go
you,
for it,
Peter.
please.
Thank you, Daniel. Thank
You
you,
have my
Dangle.
express
Yeah.
permission.
You have the-
Tangle.
Thomas, you have
Thank you,
you have the
Dangleberry.
floor.
Oh dear, mum's upset with me. She just called me Thomas. I have 8 Wired Brewing from New Zealand, and I think you can guess the name of this beer if I read out the description. It may be a wretched hive of scum and villainy, but after a long day of smuggling and outrunning swarms of Imperial TIE fighters, there's nothing like a night at the Mos Eisley Cantina. Settle in with a cold one, listen to some fine space jazz, and finish the night with a classic binary sunset. Yes, 8 Wired have brewed the Mos Eisley Cantina West Coast IPA.
Sloppy.
If that is not the most rip-offy fucking label,
I'm really surprised.
But you know what's going to happen with
sued
it?
for that.
I'm going to put some detergent in this can, wash it out kindly, and it's going to go up on the shelf with my other Star Wars cans because I fucking love it. I am.
Oh, I thought you were going to complain that it's advertising alcohol
It's
to
a nice
I
children.
don't
label.
care. I think all children should probably drink alcohol. Shut them up for a second. I love it. It is beautiful. It is capturing the essence of Mos Eisley. Also, I don't know if you.
How's the beer?
It is a pure classic West Coast. It is piney. It is dank.
Yeah.
It is fucking hoppy
Nice.
as shit. It is definitely something that I would pull on the sleeve of the bartender at the Mos Eisley Cantina. Can I have one of those? I don't know if you guys. I'm a big Richard Cheese fan, as because I am a dick cheese. But he did an entire Mos Eisley album. I don't know if you've seen it. He
Haven't
has done
heard
an
that one.
entire.
I've heard a lot
it
of his
is
stuff.
The most thoroughly thought out. It has so many deep references to the characters you'd see in the Mos Eisley Cantina. But it's definitely a beer that I would happily drink and listen to that and just or the was the Weird Al song they did the at the Star Wars Cantina. Music and blasters and old Jedi masters at the Star Wars. Anyway, it's a dank West Coast. It really nails it. It is something that if I was going to drink at the Mos Eisley Cantina, I don't think I'd do a West Coast IPA because they really dry your mouth out, I think, sometimes. And on a planet that is arid with 2 suns and deserty as fuck,
Probably
you
not
don't
the
want to
best
dry your
choice.
mouth out anymore.
God damn, I've just brought up Richard Cheese's best of list in Apple Music. I'm gonna have to go and listen to some of these.
It's a full
I
album,
have
and
not-
he has a bunch of little in Star Wars jokes all the way through it about the characters you see in the background of the Star Wars content. It is genius. It's
wow.
fantastic. It's I
Yeah.
don't know where it came from, but he does a bunch of songs Star Wars themed songs in it too because it makes irreverent references like he does because he's a genius. He's my god. Yes.
I am drinking an 8-wired beer as well.
Really?
So
Would you color
I'm
me pink
drinking-
and call me Sally?
I'm drinking the Double Scoop Stout,
Ooh.
which is I think it's chocolate frangipani, chocolate cherry frangipani stout.
Frangipani.
Yeah, 7.5%. They're flowers, Dan.
I have several of them planted in my front garden, Peter.
Are they a particular?
Our
Yeah.
That was just perfect, though. Our Double Scoop project is a series of deliciously complex pastry stouts brewed with
Oh,
layers of
Jesus,
real
you
ingredients
really
to
are going
unfold
for
in your
diabetes
glass.
today.
Like a baked liquid delicacy. This chocolate, cherry, and frangipani edition is layered with tones of velvety chocolate, sweet yet tart cherry, classic frangipani almond, and a touch of vanilla.
Is that the
It
flavor?
all
of
melts together for a
frangipani?
double
What are you
helping
going on
of a
about?
silky,
What is the
stouty
flavor of frangipani?
treat.
How do you go to classic frangipani? Like it's a fucking common flavor. Like it's fucking nutmeg. Because everybody has dried frangipani in their fucking cupboard.
But they said frangipani
Frangipani is an
almonds.
almond flavored sweet pastry cream. Oh, is it spelt with
So it's not-
spelled with an E or an I? Oh, it's
It has one of each.
okay. So frangipani is
It's
actually
a very
like
random question.
a thing they use. It is a cream. It's made with milk, sugar, flour, eggs, and butter mixed with crushed macaroons or with ground almonds. It's
Oh,
also
so-
the flour of the plant.
So it's an almond.
Well,
so it's not. So
it
it's
has
not a
nothing to do-
flower, Peter.
It's not a flour.
Retract
It's a-
that
it's got-
previous smart-assy statement.
it's a sweet almond flavored custard used in a variety of ways. Well, it's especially used in.
Is there any flour in the thing? Because that'd just put the cherry on top.
Well, I mean, yes, Peter, there's flour, but it's flour FLOUR, not FLOWER.
Yeah. White flour.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Let's not say that we're not, full of information. You didn't learn anything new today. That's my one thing I learned today. Frangipani is both
definitely what I learnt.
a flour and a cream
It's,
they use in desserts and baking.
To be honest, I can't taste it. To me, it's
What, the flour or the almond?
pastry stout. The frangipani.
You don't get any of that almond flavor.
No, it's a pastry stout. It's quite bitter, which I could be coming out of some dark chocolate notes. There is a lot of chocolate in it. There is residual sweetness, but I think it's playing off against the cherry, and it's quite a tart cherry. So it's a really nice complex palate. It's just adds up to just a really bad bitter aftertaste.
Yeah, right.
So it's enjoyable to drink. It's not enjoyable afterwards.
So it's an initial taste. Initial taste is good.
I'm gonna get pissed drinking it anyway.
And is not to your liking. Is that what you're saying?
Correct. And I don't like bitter beers. I have let it warm up quite a bit, so it has opened up too, and it's going to be a lot more powering. Some of the notes overpowering. Anyway, Dan, what are you drinking?
Well, I've already finished my fourth one, and it was one of my ones. So I might have to go and get another one.
Treat yourself.
Centennial Single Hop American Pale. Is this another one that's not going to be in your Untapped profile?
Yes, because fucking Untapped won't give me access back to my fucking account. My last sales manager has access to it, and they won't fucking unlock the. Will they?
Then
that's the second time you've used
I know, because it really
I
annoys
managed to
me,
get it.
man.
I managed to get it.
Yeah,
so I took over the batch one. So yeah, they managed to. They did it for me, but it took a bit of back and forth with the emails being like, no, that guy definitely doesn't work here anymore.
Yeah, well, we've gone back, and there's been a fourth, and I've gone back again, and there's been no fourth back. So yes,
bloody hell.
there will be words, and now you've reminded me that those words will be tomorrow.
And harsh.
And
they
they'll
will
be
be harsh words. They've bred themselves for war.
All right. We're running out of time, so we wanted to talk about Red Notice.
Oh, I just put that in there as another trailer. Just as
What's Red Notice?
Red Notice is a new film. It's a Netflix film coming out. It's got The Rock.
Did you talk about Wolverine?
Not yet. We didn't talk about any of the PS5 games.
Okay, no worries.
Maybe we will put.
We'll probably end with the games, to be honest.
Yeah, we'll do a quick rundown of the games. It just looks like a fun Netflix film coming out, popcorn movie. It's The Rock plays an FBI agent. Ryan Reynolds is a art thief. Gal Gadot is also a smarter art thief, but it's The Rock ends up teaming up with Ryan Reynolds. Usual Ryan Reynolds banter.
I love anything.
Yeah,
with
it's
Reynolds
a good trailer. It's good.
I've got to say,
it just looks fun.
Rock's at risk of typecasting himself as a plastic action hero if he's not careful.
Oh, no, I'm going to watch that Jungle Cruise because I think he's going to be. And also, watch Moana.
When I say that,
he's got the voice of an angel.
I'm not referring to movies like the Jumanji reboot, right? That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about movies like that skyscraper movie that he was in.
Well, I mean, he's a big beefy dude. Of course he's going to get typecast as an action dude.
No, but I don't mean an action guy. I mean a crap movie action guy, a B-list, A-list celebrity.
Samuel L. Jackson did a lot of B-listy things, and he perfectly summed it up.
Yeah, but he did
perfectly summed
he
it
did
up.
Art House.
No, he perfectly summed it up, saying, "I'm an actor and I need to get paid." It's still a job.
So Rock is still waiting for his Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he is because I mean, you look at all those guys because.
He's a good actor, though. Like, he has a good range.
No, I don't disagree with you. I mean...
It doesn't need to be in a daddy daycare style fucking movie.
Stallone's got Rambo. I've never seen a Rocky movie, so I can't speak for the Rocky movies.
I recently rediscovered this watching The Expendables. Sly Stallone can't run. Please go back and watch The Expendables 1 and watch him as he's running to get on the plane, and he looks like...
He's pretty old.
I've never watched him.
See, I reckon something's done with his hip. I wanted to look it up and look like Sly Stallone injuries, but when he's running...
They probably gave him a cobalt one and had to rip it back out of him. And
like, I don't know, just like... like he's just, I don't know.
A pregnant lady in clogs.
Yeah, that's a perfect example. Pregnant lady in clogs. Jesus, it was ungainly. Cool. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, pregnant lady in clogs.
Yeah.
Yep. Sorry, all the pregnant ladies out there. Don't wear clogs.
And the ones wearing clogs, especially.
Sorry. In Sweden. Yeah. Well, the pregnant ladies in Sweden. It is Swedish. Swedish.
Holland.
Clogs. Or is it Holland? No, you're right.
Denmark,
the Dutch.
Yeah, very flat country. Yeah. Hence why the clogs work. Do we want to do the PS5 showcase or
Famously flat country.
Yeah.
All those windmills.
Yep. It's where the wind goes on the plains, yeah. God, Jesus.
This is called walking against the wind.
Who wants a mustache ride?
All right, we're at that time of night. Let's
Bong and a crepe.
Schmuck and a bakelet. All right, let's finish with the PS5. Well, that's a keeper.
Stop it. Bad. Sit. Good dog.
I'll lose my
Sit,
shit.
Yeah. Good dog.
PS5 showcase. I am excited.
Yes.
So
I don't have a PS5, but yes, I am
The end.
excited.
you're excited because now you're going to be one of those guys who's got that, like my little brother and Liam have. They're on that Twitter account that's showing you when PS5s drop on certain platforms, and then they try and get one.
I can't do it, man. I can't do it. I like I said earlier,
I mean,
I'm holding out for that
you
God
have
of War
to-
one.
You have to be on
Dan.
that thing, and you have to be waiting on the website that they're going to drop to. Otherwise, the bots get it because the resale guys are the ones that get it. Anyway, whole different thing. Let's talk about the
I'm
trailers.
happy to try and I'm happy to sit on those things when I get time, and if I manage to pick one up, I'll just you can just send me the money.
Yeah, if you get a God of War one, I will buy it. But
I actually don't think they're going to do one of those. To be honest,
I don't think they are either, especially now when they
still
can
haven't
just print out the
announced an
stickers.
official faceplate replacement for any of the games that have released so far, and they've released how many PS5 titles?
Just print it yourself, like it's a piece of piss.
No, I could probably hand paint it on there as well, but it's not
You
the
could.
fucking point.
Anyway, let's talk about the trailers. God of War Ragnarok. Good.
You could do some
Fucking
some
excited.
decoupage.
Yeah, I could do some decoupage. Yeah, wallpaper that shit.
No, just some paint by numbers. There you go.
Yep.
Little grey.
Yes, God of War Ragnarok. Thick Thor. Everybody's the internet is alight with Thick Thor, and then you look at it, and you know what? That is traditional Thor.
Yeah.
Thor was a beer-swilling, red-bearded, red-haired god. Go at it.
Endgame Thor was the closest Thor that we actually got to traditional Thor. Yeah.
But he was still too blonde. So
He's talking about his gut size, but and the
yeah.
empty kegs of beer. Yeah.
Yeah, and
I love the design of his Mjolnir hammer as well.
Yeah,
with
the traditional Mjolnir, and you saw that at the end of the original God of War. Sorry, Pete, you are about to start playing it. That was at the very end, and
Also,
it was
been
great.
out for like 3 years, so yeah.
If I ever get bored of the other game that shall not be named.
Yeah, but I mean, you want to play a real Viking? You want to play a real Norse game? Play God of War. And
it looks great. It looks great. I've seen a fair few people complain online already from watching the trailer, being like, "Oh, well, it's the same like thing you're getting from the PS4 game." Yeah, because the PS4 game was breaking the PS4.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. What do you want? Do you want Kratos to come out and tickle your fucking balls while you play? No. Like the graphics are that good because they're the studio that know how to work that console. Like they work the PS4 to its upper fucking limit with God of War, like the 2018.
They worked the PS3 with
100%. God of War 3 looked like a PS4 game. It didn't look like a PS3 game. So yes, I think it looks amazing. I think it's good to see some recurring characters coming back. I like to bring Tyr into it as well, and
that part of the trailer, Tyr standing up, but he's got both hands.
Yeah, I thought that.
I'm like, what the fuck's going on there?
It also was just weird, like, I mean, not weird, but because Tyr is traditionally the Norse god of war, isn't he?
Tyr is, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, just the comparison between him and Kratos as a Greek god of war as being like this short, stocky, not short, he's still 6 foot, but he's stocky as fuck. And then Tyr coming in as this, 8 foot, a bit lankier, a bit more of like a giant kind of character.
But Tyr's parents were giants.
There you go. All right. Cool.
So Hymir, Hymir was his father, and Hymir is a giant, and his mother is too. Yeah. So Tyr, they're all fucking giants. They're all descendants of Mimir,
but I really like the fact that the Thor you saw in this, the stocky Thor that we saw, the fat Thor, he really resonated with the Sons of Thor you saw in the you could see them being the sons of their father. Like 100%. They looked it.
And he looked older in a godly way. He didn't look age older. He looked weary older.
Yeah, yeah.
He'd been drowning his sorrows in many, 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 many kegs of beer. So, yeah.
Battles of mead.
Yeah.
Fucking excited. I am. I've been in love with the God of War series since I first discovered the first one. I remember I walked into Target at Eastwood and saw the thing. I was like, that looks fucking sick. That's on special. Yeah, I'll get that. I was hooked ever since. That was years and years ago.
It's a great series. Great franchise.
My last little point there is the young girl Agrabora.
What's that?
They bring in. So she is, from memory, don't quote me on this, Loki's lover, which is why they're both a similar age as young teenagers.
I liked that they kind of aged Loki a little bit as well.
So I'm pretty sure, this is testing my memory here, I'm pretty sure she is the mother of Jormungandr and Fenrir.
Cool.
To Loki.
So, I did find it interesting that there's been a report come out since, like an interview that said that there's not going to be a God of War 3. There's not going to be a third one. They've decided, instead of doing a trilogy, it's split into two. And
it's very interesting that in this trailer we have not seen Odin or even a whiff of Odin.
No, there was a mention of Odin at the start. With the Ravens,
Mimir mentioned him, but
I like they brought Mimir. I love Mimir and the one.
Painting with his mouth and spitting the paintbrush out in the house. Yeah, perfect.
No, laddie, you got to go this way and do this.
Yeah. And Pete, like this is the thing that you're missing out on having not played this. I mean, this.
It's all the in jokes.
But it's not an in joke. You go through this game and it's a single player. It's a single player game, but you do not feel like you're the only person playing it
alone.
Yeah. Atreus is with you the whole time, and then at some stage Mimir is with you as well. So you have this 3-party band going through this entire game. They never feel like a hindrance because they're not, because the mechanics do not allow them to be. And they just add to the overall story. So every bit of dead space that there would ever be in any other game is filled with voices.
The banter.
But it's not just banter. It's knowledge. It's the expansion of characters. I mean, you could be doing nothing, and it's filled by these two other characters that are having a
conversation
genuine interaction.
You expect to have if you were in that world. Yeah.
I got a little bit of a taste of that when I was looking for good quotes to use with your God of War statue that you sent me photos of for one of our social media posts. So I obviously Google, quotes or best quotes from whatever the statue is from. And there was just hundreds of pages of conversation between Mimir and Atreus.
Jinx.
Sorry. I don't know where Atreus comes from. And Kratos. And they're all fucking hilarious.
No, it's great banter. Yeah.
And insightful and wisdom filled and so I get it. I understand what you're talking
Dan,
about.
I don't know if you'd like to bring the mood down a little bit. Did you see the sad news around God of War?
No.
The guy who originally designed the Leviathan axe and its recallability did pass away recently.
Oh no.
Yeah. So he'd been working for Santa Monica Studios and the studios before that for a while, but the guy who you can thank for that recall ability, who designed it from ground up, he unfortunately passed away after medical complications. So.
If I had any left, I would pour it out.
Cheers to him. He fucking that ability,
that mechanic.
The amount of times we talked, like message was being like, "Did you do this?" And it's just like you'd throw it a little bit and then catch it, and then throw it a little bit further and then catch it, and then like throw it a little bit further and then catch it, and then just be like, "Oh, how far can I throw it?" And just open bit of map, just and it'd still do the little quiver and come back. Yeah,
you so throw it off the edge of the Yggdrasil. Yep. And
so the guy who designed that, so unfortunately he had complications. I think he'd been sick for a little bit, but yes, he unfortunately passed away. But
Well,
to him and his spirit, thank you very much for designing that. You are a
Yep.
true legend of video games.
yep, my man, your legend will live on because obviously one of the
He
best
inspired
games of
so many
generation.
people. Yeah, he
Yeah.
inspired so many people. But
Yep. Well done.
But yeah, that was God of War Ragnarok. They also, moving right along, Spider-Man Insomniac had a double little reveal in that PS5 showcase. Spider-Man 2. So not only do we have Peter Parker and Miles Morales now seemingly teaming up, I reckon Arkham style, when you can pull in Robin or
Finishes
whoever.
off.
Yeah, and so you could, but then you could switch to that person and play.
Yeah.
Because Parker and Morales had different, semi-different styles, because Miles has his electric abilities. So that'll be cool. So the whole new game. The trailer is voiced over by someone, I reckon's Craven the Hunter. Going to put that out there. It's talking about someone who he needs to be an equal of, that he's traveled all over the world. He's got a southern, like South European accent. Like he sounds like Craven the Hunter. And then sure enough, good old Venom appears out of a very dark alleyway saying, "We will." So I reckon that's going to be fucking sick. I don't think we've
really
seen
need to go back and
Miles
play.
in a symbiote uniform, so that could be fucking cool.
Yeah.
I don't think there's been Miles in a symbiote uniform. If they get to introduce in this game, like, or maybe it's a Miles versus symbiote Peter, like that could be fucking cool.
That would be
But
interesting.
it's Insomniac. They nailed the first one. I fucking love those games. And then they announced fucking snicky, snoy, snoy. Insomniac Games are fucking doing Wolverine. It's going to be a full game. It's going to be mature as hell. The game designer's already said that. He's like, no, this is Logan's backstory. Like, this is pure Logan. We're going all, like, we're not pulling the punches or sheathing the claws, I think was the exact quote he used. But
where are they pitching it in terms of timeline? Is it a
Prime Wolverine?
Fill the
We're
gap?
looking at Prime Wolverine. So the little teaser trailer we got, I don't know if you guys picked it up, but that was the Princess Bar in Madripoor, which we saw in Captain Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Oh, it was it? Okay.
It's the Princess Bar, yeah. So that's where Wolverine worked as Patch in the comic book series.
Yep.
And it was Cowboy Wolverine. It was fucking that was early late 90s, early 2000s Wolverine in a fucking flannel with a cowboy hat on, and he had proper fucking long claws as well. Like, I'm excited. I have not been this excited for a video game in a long time. I fucking love Wolverine. And if Insomniac are going to do it justice like they did Spider-Man, like, color me every color of excited. I
think they will, because if they don't, that will be their
I fully have
swan
faith.
song.
I fully have faith. Like the way they treated Spider-Man, that is one of the greatest Spider-Man games I've ever played, and there have been a fuckload of Spider-Man games out there. But if they're giving the same level of love and devotion they did to Spider-Man, they're going to give to Wolverine, which they've said they have, and they will. I have no doubts that's going to be fucking epic.
As long as they put that leap that you could do in the Wolverine Origins game, because that was my favorite fucking move, and I would literally back away from people so I could do that because it was the best thing, and just beat the hell out of them with the claws on the way down.
See, I would really like them to do. I'm really hoping for like a bit of vertical gameplay, having like. Like an assassin style, like leap out of the just like down claws out, like
he could easily climb fucking walls and shit with his
100%. But like even just like jumping up on top of like a stack of shelves where no one can see him, and then like jumping down in like an urban environment, just claws into the right in the tops of the shoulders. There you go, he's done.
You need to see just the edge poking out from the bottom of the stomach.
And the guys who are developing it have said that it's a mature game. Like they're not pulling back. It's going to be a visceral Wolverine game.
So there was two. Right. There was the Wolverine, the Hugh Jackman, the Leapy X-Men Origins one.
Yeah,
that was fantastic. That was a fantastic. That was
Wolverine. That was Wolverine's origin based on that movie. Yeah.
So if they can do the healing mechanic where he would like chew away and he would heal up.
You'd
over
see his
time.
metal skeleton. Yeah.
That'd be great. And then if they could enter the stealth element of Wolverine's Revenge, which was
the X-Men 2 game.
Yeah,
Back on
X-Men
the
2
PSC.
Wolverine's Revenge.
Yeah.
That stealth in that was that was pre-Batman Arkham, and it was gorgeous. Like it was just that was very happy time.
I don't know about you guys,
stabby.
but I'm really hoping that they get on the phone and go call up Stephen Blum, who was the voice of Wolverine in a lot of those early Marvel games, and go, "Hey mate, it's your time to shine." And he goes, just cracks the knuckles and goes, we're on. Yeah. 100%. Yeah, I'm super excited. My mate Chris asked me, he goes, which are you more excited for, Spider-Man 2 or Wolverine? It's 100% Wolverine.
Oh,
I am
100%.
without a doubt. I love that Spider-Man game, but if Insomniac are handling, like I love Insomniac games, I have for so long. If they're handling that Wolverine content, I have utmost faith.
They'll do it justice.
Wolverine could be their Batman.
100%. Yeah. Especially if they get like Wolverine's, obviously he's got so many years to pick from as well. Like he's got, early 1800s Canada,
there's a lot of content.
across to future. Yeah.
French 1920s with Mystique. Wolverine tucks with a fucking eye patch.
Yep.
And Mystique in a white dinner dress.
No, that's Madripoor. That's
Fucking
Patch.
hit it.
That's Patch.
That's Patch, yeah.
That's Patch from Madripoor. Yeah. Singapore, but that's not French enough.
Yeah. But the 1920s France was the same.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
I'm sure he had the eye patch in France as well.
Well, he definitely has it because that's his Patch nickname comes from that. Yeah. But
well, he just in one of the most recent comics, he just went to an auction at in Madripoor as Patch. Yep. And they had one of his cut off hands as a auctioned item. They had a a broken Captain America shield. They had a Wolverine cut off hand, and then they had a mind wipe Maverick. So he teams up with Maverick at the end of that. I think
I've read that. Yeah, I think I know the one you're talking about. Yeah,
it's good.
And
now he's going up against. Going up against Dracula.
We're going to move us forward because we've spent 20 minutes on Wolverine so far.
We have not. Sorry. You spent half an hour on some fucking DLC for some fucking game you've spoken about for fucking years. Shut up.
I did not.
There's only 2 other games left over in the PS5 showcase that I think we will really care about. There was Knights of the Old Republic is getting a remake, as they say. It is handled by Aspyr Studios, who have done pretty much all the other Star Wars games from the early 2000s that and whether or not they remake them is a debate. No, everyone loves them. They did Episode 1 Racer, they redid Republic Commando, and they did the Jedi Knight series, but they didn't exactly remake them. So they've said
this one is an absolute ground up remake.
Yeah.
So
if it's not on the level of those Spyro remastered games that I played recently, I will be calling out their remake credibility. Credibility. I think that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Knights of the Old Republic.
I never played the original, so it'll be a good opportunity for me to jump in.
Story of Revan, man. Story of Revan is what everybody's wanted for a long time, and I'm pretty sure. Well, I'm not pretty sure. I hope that's what we're going to get in the TV series Acolyte.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Is the story of Revan?
Yeah, we didn't see much. There was no gameplay, and then there was nothing much else really from the PS5.
In fact, no, there really wasn't.
That Forspoken game looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. Did you watch that trailer, Pete?
I don't recall. I watched all the trailers you linked.
I think I sent Forspoken. It's
you did.
It kind of looks a bit Square Enixy, a bit Final Fantasy. You play as a girl who gets. It was shown in one of the first PS5 showcases. She has the magic rings linked to her hand, but she can.
I do remember.
It almost looked like a tech demo. Gameplay looks good.
The other one that
banter
I thought
between her and the rings that can talk, they're clearly sentient. Yeah.
Yeah. It almost reminded me of I want to say Destiny with the little qubit thing. Yeah, with Ghost is what it was called, but it was like a qubit thing, and just the banter between that and the and
Well,
Ghost.
that's before they changed it from Peter Dinklage because his deliverance was entirely flat. There's a wizard on the moon. They had to redo the entire voice casting for the Ghost character because Peter Dinklage's delivery was so flat. He phoned it
flat.
fuck in.
Yeah.
And then Nolan North came in and goes, please. Voicing a video game character, excuse me.
We can do better than this. We can do better.
I think the other one they did.
It looks interesting. And the tiny, what's the
Tiny
spin-off
Tinas.
from Borderlands?
Tiny Tina from
Tiny
Borderlands.
Tinas. I never played Borderlands.
I still haven't
So
started
there's a lot
Borderlands
of catching
3.
up I need to do. This is why I shouldn't really be stuck on extracting the last ounce of content out of the game that shall not be named. When out of your list, I have not really played God of War, the God of War 4. I've played the first 15, 20 minutes, the prologue episode, the prologue storyline, that was it. I have not played Miles Morales, and I have not played KOTOR. Yeah, I've played 1, 2, and 3. I've platinumed 1 and 2.
What about Ascension?
So I played the shit out of it. Sorry?
What about Chains of Olympus? You played all 6. Get on my level.
No, I haven't played all 6.
They were the PSP ones that they eventually released for PS3 or PS4.
And Ghost of War Ascension.
Not going there.
I said Ascension.
Oh, did you? Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. I didn't hear that one.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh, those stouts are really not great after opening right up and turning warm.
You talk about Tiny Tinas, I'll be back.
So Tiny Tina, Borderlands.
Speaking of things that are tiny, Dan's thimble-sized bladder.
Going somewhere else, but okay. Tiny Tina was a side character that was introduced in Borderlands 2 and then got a bigger...
New episode name, Dan's Tiny Erection. We've used the word erection that many times. It's got to be in the title.
I used it too many times.
Anyway, carry
sorry.
I think, yeah.
But so Tiny Tina was a side mission character that appeared in Borderlands 2, and then I'm pretty sure she's in Borderlands 3. I still haven't started Borderlands 3. She's definitely was in Borderlands pre-sequel, which is the weird Australian version. 2K have an Australian
Mad Max.
No, just 2K. 2K, the studio behind it, have an Australia studio, and they gave the pre-sequel entirely to the Australian studio, and so the Australian studio were like, cool, we're going to hire entirely Australian voice actors, and there are some fucking...
It's like deaths on a stick out there, mate.
Bogan fucking voices in that one. Let me tell you, fucking mate. Like it's insane, but it's so funny. And it would completely be lost on the American audience, but it worked so well for me.
And all those VB and 4X cans in the fucking product art just wouldn't have stacked up.
Tiny Tina was always obsessed with fantasy, and this is it's a space age gun game.
Post-apocalyptic, it's almost a Fallout kind of universe,
Mad Max.
isn't it?
Well, yeah, it's
Sci-fi Mad Max.
Sci-fi Mad Max, and it's but it's a looter game, so it's kind of like the Diablo, but it's all based around guns. It's everything guns. It's every gun combination. They often claim you can have over 1 billion gun combinations you can get. That's how many there are in the game. So Tiny Tina was always obsessed with fantasy, like traditional fantasy. So this is set in her brain universe of like she's DMing a fantasy role playing game, and you take on those characters. So it's the still same Borderlands kind of different guns with different powers and whatever, but you definitely get more traditional fantasy based powers you had on the side.
Monsters. Well, there was a whole magic system by the look of it as well.
Well, you have
very much a blend
powers
between
in the game, depending on what class you play as. Like you either have a tech thing or you have a mystical alien power thing. So this has just gone, fuck it. Everyone can get supernatural powers because it's all fantasy. Yeah.
Yeah, but it looked very magical, not supernatural. It looked traditional spell
that's the thing.
casting.
It's meant to be. It's fantasy based. This doesn't exist. This doesn't exist in the Borderlands world. It exists in Tiny Tina's mind. Yeah, it's her DM world. Yeah.
And you literally see her there with the DM cover board in front of her.
She has a board in front of her, and
she rolls the dice. It was a D20 she rolled.
The only other games that they're
I can't drink any more of those stouts.
They're redoing the Uncharted series as well. Well, not the whole one, but Uncharted 4. Uncharted 4 and Uncharted Lost Legacy are getting a PS5 thing.
Lost Legacy was really good. I enjoyed Lost Legacy.
Also, GTA 5 is getting its PS5 upgrade because nobody cares about GTA 5 anymore. And actually,
Yeah,
Rockstar got ripped to shit online for announcing that.
Good.
Everyone was like,
Can we end on a high? Can we end on a more positive note than Cockstar fucking remaking their game for the third generation of consoles and zero people
I
giving
can
a
talk
fuck?
about the Wolverine game again. No, but Peter, what were you going to say?
No,
that was a question, not a statement. I thought it was a statement.
Yeah, it really sounded like a statement.
Can we? Well, it was. It was a statement that let's not
come
end
on,
on a
come
on
on.
a
There's
low
got to be
note
another one in that fucking trailer list. there
GTA
somewhere.
5 fucking
No,
remake.
that was pretty much
Yeah.
it. There was nothing else. Nothing much else. But
Okay.
I will happily play Coda from the ground up going into that. If they remake it from the ground up,
I've never played it. I love coming into a game that everybody
Yeah.
loves and that I've got high expectations of because of the consensus, but I've never played. The last game that I remember like that was Skyrim. Everybody had already played Skyrim. It had been out for a decade, and then they released it for VR, and I used that as an excuse to go out and get the PSVR goggles, and I've never touched that game before I put those goggles on. I've still never played the game on a TV, and I love that experience.
I think you're right. Like KOTOR coming into this, it's going to give you so much back knowledge on the Old Republic, and because
if you have no idea of the Old Republic, this is the perfect game to get into it with.
Because it is armies of Sith versus armies of Jedi. It is
Jedi.
You go to
100%.
a Jedi temple and you go to a Sith temple, and it's before the rule of two.
Mm-hmm.
It's before all of this, and you have to choose. Oh God, I think it's beyond spoiling what the spoiler is, but
It's been out for so many years.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, I
Just
almost
spoil
don't
it.
want to spoil it for Pete because he doesn't know about it, kind of thing, because it is a big thing, and it's you play through this and you get the paths to choose, you get your options to choose, and it will be very interesting. The game is still great. It's still an original RPG. Pause it halfway through the action. Set your team options and go. You can line up three or four options for your attack options. Very MMO, what the original MMOs were based on, but it will be very interesting to see how they choose to update that and how they choose to move forward with it. Will they go a hack and slash? Will you go a Dragon
But we've
Age?
almost come full circle with those games. I mean, you think about the modernization of game mechanics, and there's been an evolutionary process through those styles of games over the last 20 years.
Has.
And then you look at how fucking popular Lorien games are with a very traditional Baldur's Gate style old school mechanics. And it's almost like we've got the revival of, it's like, corduroy's suddenly back in.
I don't think the old control system for combat will play these days. It will need a heavy revamp.
It definitely will need an upgrade, yeah.
Yeah. It just won't resonate.
We're modernizing, I get it, but we're modernizing old school mechanics in a lot of games these days to a lot of critical
If
acclaim.
Lorien did a fucking Knights of the Old Republic, Star Wars top-down, fucking Divinity skinned fucking Star Wars game, I would be incredibly happy because every facet of the Star Wars universe fits into the way they play that game. You can have your long-range guys, you can have your melee guys. Knights of the Old Republic is completely different. It's third person.
Yeah.
But if Lorien got the license to do that, I'd be extremely happy.
Peter, I if you want to end this podcast on a high note, actually, you're
we kind of just did.
no, I've got a
carry
higher
on.
note to hide. I'm going to take that ante up one more. You're mentioning of playing
One more
Skyrim
take.
VR. So a guy I went to school with, Pat, we lived together for years. We both ran down to EB Games at Macquarie Centre because we lived 5 minutes up the road. We literally ran and to get our copy of Skyrim when it came out originally. He sent me a message the other month, and I've been meaning to share with you guys for a while. He said, Thomas, after 10 years, I have finally collected all 24 stones of Berenzia and Berenzia's crown. It is complete. And then he sent me a photo, and sure enough, this is after 10 years, the bastard has finally found all those fucking... And he didn't use a guide. He traveled the length and breadth of Skyrim.
Wow.
He said... Because when I first started finding him, I was like, fuck this, man. I'm going to find a guide and just find them. He goes, no, I will find them as I play the game. And he, like, over the years, he always kept going back to it. But in all its glory, there it is. A fully completed Berenzia's Crown. No guide used. This was sent to me back in mid-August. But that's 10 years of gameplay to finally come back and have a fully completed all 24 stones. No, and he said, no longer will those fucking asshole stones clog up my inventory.
Was that a DLC quest, or was that an original core game quest?
I remember stumbling upon those when I first got it. You would go and you'd loot a chest, and there would be like a stone of Berenzia, and you'd be like, this quest would probably be like, please complete all 24, and you'd be like, how about you fuck off and die?
Yeah. I reckon if I loaded up I have my Steam page here open, right? And I reckon if I go to my Skyrim, what's it called? It's called fucking Elder Scrolls.
I do remember
Elder
this.
Scrolls.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll have an incomplete crown of Berenzia sitting there.
Yeah. But it also tells me how many times I've played, how many hours. I played 107 hours. Last time I played it was February 14th, 2016. I'm seriously thinking about reinstalling it.
They're about to re-release it for the PS5, so I'm tempted to go back in.
Yeah.
I think I'm at 187, 188 in the game that shall not be named. I'm pretty sure Fallout 3, when I played that as a platinum run through, and Fallout 4 were probably the only two games that I've ever played more hours in.
No, I like.
Or well over 200.
It's a dick measuring competition, but I definitely know the game that I invested so many hours in. I never got the platinum trophy, and I honestly, to this day, I actually regret it. But Destiny 1, I put over 500 hours into that.
Yeah, wow.
And there were so many games that I'm now going back and playing that I should have been playing.
Talk about a treadmill. I mean, look, I would have put more games into World of Warcraft, admittedly, because I played that game for 7 years, and I played it for like 12 hours at a sitting on weekends.
I remember I used to get home from work, just log into Destiny, and I'd do the same fucking 4 missions.
But it's such a grind. There was such a small world with so few missions, and it was just a treadmill.
I don't know what looking back on it now, I would never play a game like that. Never. But that is definitely a game.
I enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong. I only know that because I played the game for a fair while.
Sucked up my life, but yeah,
it's the old pen and paper dungeon master. Like the goal of a dungeon master is to make your characters, or put the characters in a storyline where the story's on rails, but you can't see the rails. Right. So most good video games put the player on rails through a linear story that never feels linear. It's open enough that they feel like they're making choices, but psychologically they're being programmed to make the choices that the developer wants them to make. Destiny is very much a game where you can see the fucking rails.
Oh no, 100%. Looking back on that train. I definitely I should have cut that by 4/5.
Play it through once, do all the missions once.
Try and grind the end game. Try and get to the highest level, and that was the thing. I was always trying to get to that highest level. I never got there, and it was just
yeah. There were some really good moments in that game. I did enjoy a lot of those initial. The first time you explore each zone and you do the quests or the interactive mission for the first time,
they know what they were doing.
That fire fucking beetle thing that was pretty early on in the game, unless I'm misremembering. That was a cool fucking cutscene. In fact, that was in the trailer. But yeah, no, that got old quick.
Anyway.
Oh, thanks for bringing us back down. We went high and then you brought us back down. That's awesome. It's like a bungee.
Well, you got to fall eventually. Icarus.
Okay.
That is time.
On that note, thank you very much for listening. Do us a fruit flavor and tell a couple of your friends about how much you enjoy the show if you do, in fact, enjoy the show. If you hate the show, don't tell your friends that you hate the show. But if you enjoy it, please tell a couple of your mates. Because
otherwise, we'll sneaky,
tell 3 friends.
Snoy. He's Wolverine. That's what we'll do to you. Yeah.
We're just going to end it there. Thanks for
Have a good
listening.
night. See ya.
Bye.